Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents SportsCall. It's time to join our SportsCall crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, SportsCall.
Welcome, Auburn, into the Wednesday edition of SportsCall on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app, and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to our audience, however you're listening today. My name is Ryan Lavoie. I'm joined by Tom Peavy. Got Connor Knight around the board and producing the program here on this Wednesday. Coming up on today's program, Auburn had their second scrimmage of fall camp today. Heard from Alex Golish. We'll talk about some of his comments and about some of the things seen in the scrimmage today. Also on tap, we will continue to talk more things in the college football world, a latest round of lawsuits from, surprise, surprise, those trying to get an extra year of eligibility. Also, we move on to number 3 in our preseason SEC media poll. That would be the Ole Miss Rebels. They were voted third by the media in the SEC. And we'll see what else we get into here today, maybe a little baseball at some point. Also, if you want to give us a phone call this afternoon, then join us on the Sports Call phone line, 34887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Ryan and Tom with you here live in studio. Tom Peavy, how's your Wednesday, sir?
Oh, man, it's good. I haven't really done much except get ready to come here. And I always talk about this kind of the start of my day. Been a good day. You've got the Little League World Series playing here in the studio with Phoenix City, Alabama taking on Washington 0-0 in the top of the fourth. And so, a lot of area eyes on that. Some good stuff. Some good stuff from Golish concerning the scrimmage and the practice and just kind of camp in general today, but also some bad news for on the injury front with a player that's now going to be out until maybe November or the entire season. With a collarbone injury. So you never like to hear that. That's one of those things you hate. But it's football. It happens. So, man, just ready to kind of get into everything that we got going on. And the Braves are back on the struggle bus. I think they've lost 4 of their last 5.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They are, I think, tied last check today. We'll get into all of it here today. Of course, yesterday we had a fun show. We were getting to our Town Name Tuesday, and we had a really good time with that. Again, that's the third time we've done that format, I believe.
Think so.
And so we did that in the 5 o'clock hour. Show kind of flew by yesterday. So if you missed our Town Name Tuesday, go check it out on the Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. All right, let's get into it here today, though. Tom mentioning one of the injuries. That would be Jacaleb Falk, who went down today. He was one of the players of depth at the edge rushing position, and he is out, as Tom said, collarbone injury, had a surgery on it, already out till at least the front part of November. Very possible he misses the entire season now. And so that was not good for a position group that is probably among one of Auburn's weaker ones. Again, not saying that it will be a weakness for Auburn this year necessarily, but certainly some questions up front. Some other notes from the scrimmage today. Stanton Ramil was able to go the entire scrimmage along with Joe Simmons. Ramil at right tackle, Simmons at left tackle, solidifying what they would like to do on the offensive line. So you had those guys in there. Coach Golish said better day of tackling. Yeah. We won't play his comments today. We will likely play them tomorrow. But he had a good long conversation with the media about the scrimmage today. But Again, it seemed like it was a little bit better overall in a lot of areas, a lot of key areas for Auburn. But obviously, when you start to lose players for the majority of the season and fall camp, that's never one of your goals.
Now, you don't like hearing that. Like I said, it's part of football. It's unfortunate. Falk was expected to be a piece that you could use this year on that edge, but collarbone, that's tough. But I liked hearing a lot of the stuff I heard, the tackling being better. The one thing Coach Goller said that I really liked, he said that there was, and I think the quote was like violent intent. I was like, ooh, I like that. That made, I like the sound of violent intent when it comes to the way you're practicing. I said they do still need to work and get better on some situational things, kind of in-game situational type stuff. They're still trying to work on, but it feels positive. I don't know. It feels different. It's something about this that just feels different. I don't know why that is. If I'm just making up in my head, but it feels different. The words coming out from camp just feel different. I don't know. It feels like there's a different energy about things going into this first game than we've really seen in the past several years.
So, want to highlight some of the standouts per out Scolish from today's scrimmage. Dallas Walker was said to be as consistent as we've seen him on defense. Edge Deshaun Womack, of course, that's going to be important, as we just told you the news with J.J. Falk. Jared Smith on defensive end, also very important, was another standout. Eric Winters at safety. Then also on the offensive side of the ball, Byron Brown, Keyshawn Singleton, and Chaz Nimrod. No, I did not just read you the depth chart from South Florida last year. But those three stood out on the offensive side of the ball. Again, the first thing I take away from that grouping, 3 of the 4 players you mentioned on defense up front. And, that to me, I think there is a general question on every edge of the defense. I would say that the linebackers are probably the most solidified.
Right.
Xavier Atkins, Elijah Melendez, just seems like it's going to be a tremendous duo, and get some DeMarcus Riddick in there. But I think that's probably the best position group on that side of the ball. But there are some questions at every other position.
Yeah.
And so I like seeing the positive play, positive nature of the defensive line. I've said many times, I feel Auburn, their best defenses feature a lot of really top-end defensive linemen, particularly ends, but even tackles. Certainly we know about Nick Fairley and Derek Brown and other guys that have had meaningful careers. But I think that that defensive line is probably in a place where it knows, kind of like the offensive line, it knows its starters. It does not know if it has meaningful depth. And on offensive line, that may or may not matter. Offensive line, like we said yesterday, the goal is not to play 7 or 8 people. The goal is to play 5.
Yeah.
5 as long as you can play them every game of every week. But defensive line, you can't just play 4. You can't play just your starters at all these positions. The top rep guys, it varies between college and pro, but the top rep guys in general up front around 80% of the snaps. Well, that means, we got 70 defensive snaps or something of that sort. I've still got to come up with 15 to 20 minimum,
right,
for a second player at each position. And again, sometimes in the middle, you get even less percentage of snaps than that. Again, the edges can get to 80, 90%. The defensive tackles, the nose tackles, not normally that high of a percentage. But again, depends on the program, depends on the player. So I digress and say that, they at least need to feel good about their starters.
Yeah.
Right. Again, offensive and defensive line, they know who they're going to be. But they don't feel as confident about the depth. And they still have some question marks with those starters in terms of effectiveness. Again, they're labeling their starters. They just don't know if they'll come to the forefront and be highly productive players. And again, I've said many times, I think Jared Smith will be a highly productive player.
Oh, yeah.
Deshaun Womack, unfortunately, has been someone that has not proven he can produce. He's played a lot, but he has not turned that into, again, meaningful numbers or meaningful impact in the time he has played. But I don't know. Again, kind of like you, I get like a generally positive vibe. Like, okay, felt the tackling was better. That's a progression. Felt better maybe about the defense than as an individual standpoint than the offense. I think that's fair because I think there's strength in numbers with all the skill position players. Like you don't need to tell me, Tom, that Jeremiah Cobb was good today. I don't care.
Right.
I know Jeremiah Cobb is. I really don't need to know. He did, not in this grouping of players, he did single out Bryson Washington also, by the way, and said he's looking like the guy that was in Power 4 football the last couple of years at Baylor. And to me, that was like, okay, Mapson is not the number 2 necessarily on a power ranking. He might, that's still a very real battle for who gets the second.
Still makes you feel good that you've got 3 quality backs because Mapson's going to get playing time. We all know that Mapson's going to see the field.
Right. And so given all that depth, it's like, I don't really like, me personally, I don't have a preference which one it is. I think they're all going to be at least semi-effective.
Right.
At wide receiver, okay, Keyshawn Singleton, Chaz Nimrod, Jeremiah Coger, Deshaun Spencer now. Christian Neptune, like these guys are all going to be able to play and matter to you. And I just think that overall, I'm confident whichever one it spits out.
Yeah.
That I'm just inclined to think that. And that's not a diss of whoever the top guy ends up being and saying he's replaceable. It's just that I think they got a lot of capable guys that will know the system and they'll get something out of them because they know the system. But just because you know the system does not mean that you're going to move someone around on the line of scrimmage. Right. And, just because you are highly touted does not mean you're going to put up the numbers, put up the production and impact on defense that you're hoping to get. So those are my things that we'll obviously not be able to answer until the season. But why is it a positive vibe today? It's positive because some of those positions that I really want to see improve and make a push to be really good were some of the ones singled out today.
Yeah. Like I said, it's good stuff. I like generally what I'm hearing from it. You're definitely not hearing any negative, or at least not a whole lot of negative. It just generally feels better. I don't know if it's just me. Surely it's not just me thinking it, but it has a different vibe about it. There's definitely some question marks that have to get worked through. But I think they're getting there. Dare I say close?
Oh,
no.
Please don't. And say you didn't.
But I mean, I like the vibe. I like the general vibe that I'm getting from things, and it feels good. We normally go into these years, at least the past few, with just monumental question marks on things, and it just doesn't feel like there's as many question marks this year.
Yeah.
So it just feels a little more place of comfort than we have been.
The other thing, though, that I try to identify, because you mentioned question marks, is it because you get jaded from a couple really bad Hugh Freeze years, and now you just know what to question more properly? Because like playing devil's advocate, okay, Hugh Freeze gets to Auburn. And he recruits the wide receiver position well. And, he takes a couple swings at quarterback, what have you. But you're not inclined when Hugh Freeze starts the job to question a bunch of the offense.
Right.
You're inclined to, this is how he's going to do it. Oh, okay. That's an interesting way of doing it, but this is how he's always done it. Okay. Whereas you then have 2 years and, going into year 3, even with that talented wide receiver, taking the chance on Jackson Arnold, having a competent running back. Oh, well. Will we actually run the ball enough? We're good at it when we do it, but we don't do it enough.
Right.
Will you be able to use Cam Coleman properly? Will you be able to use the transfer Eric Singleton? Will Jackson Arnold get rid of the football? I don't know. So I know that sounds like I have such a negative slant. I don't mean it that way, but I'm just saying I feel like we could properly question and evaluate the things that Hugh Freeze was not doing well enough at Auburn, whereas with Alex Golesh, we've come off of the South Florida tenure, seeing how great the offense can be, and got DJ Durkin back, so have a known commodity there. So we don't really know as we get into the season, if it's an average offensive line, is that a big deal? It may not be.
Right.
Does Byron Brown turn the ball over too much? Or, should he stick with one particular running back more than he does? Like you're trying to create the questions in your brain, because this team won't go 12-0 and it won't go 11-1. And so there will become, okay, well, why did that not happen? Were you not talented enough? The defense fail you? Did the offense fail you? Which side of the ball fail you? So that's what remains to be seen.
When this is my other question is in game is when it goes bad, do you go into a shell or do you bounce back from it? Because that's one of the worst things about that team last year is they looked so good. It was like the first bad thing that went against them, they just crumbled. It was like they had no intestinal fortitude to put something behind them and move on from it. They would just absolutely crumble at the first sign of adversity. Can this team not do that? That is a question that I have. But I have plenty of question marks about this team. It doesn't feel like it's as many about the roster. There are still roster questions. Offensive line, don't know. We think we kind of know, but we don't. What is that entire defensive secondary going to look like with all the guys that they left? There are questions there. But the questions that I want answered are, can this team limit turnovers, which have just been absolutely destructive to them over the past several years? Can they have that intestinal fortitude to not crumble when adversity hits? Oh gosh, the refs made a bad call against us and let's just give up. No, you can't do that. So those are the things that we're not going to know about this team until we see it in action and see what they're actually made of.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tom, because sometimes Auburn really looked like they were about to figure it out last year. I specifically the Georgia game, and I'm not trying to rehash all the bad bones of last season, but the amount, I know the controversial call. I get it. We all get it. We rehashed it so much. But that team shut down after that. Oh. That they had a really, really good half of football, a winning half of football in the first half. And in the second half, they looked like a team that would miss a bowl game. And they did. They were nothing. They would have these drives. They'd come out. Maybe it was the first drive of a half or of the game or what have you. And they do some really good stuff offensively. And they scored 10 points in that game or 13 points in that game. You said, where the hell was that the rest of the game? They would give their defense would give their offense chance after chance. Yeah. And they would blow chance after chance. And it was not just last year. That was a mentality thing. And that was something that had been baked into the messaging of the team. And you know what? As you try and put the equation together, we talked in recent days about the way you PR it to the media and how much of the truth you want to say, how do you want to market it, and that can be one of the downsides of being brutally truthful. That team did not look confident the second it did something wrong, or the second something went against it. And it was proven that they had no ability to face adverse circumstances. They had no ability to recover and have the fortitude. So to your point, what happens the first time in the Alex Golesh tenure where Auburn gives up a touchdown, then turns the ball over? What does that become? Does that lead to they don't score again for 2 quarters? Does that become they get a stop and get right back up on the horse? When Auburn loses a couple games, is that third game, do they come out flat and they're down 21-3? Or do they come out and put a touchdown on the board and say, no, we're ready to compete again? So even the mentality things that are kind of hard to put a number on or to quantify, those mentality things would be very noticeable for Auburn because of how poor some of those were under Hugh Freeze.
Yeah. And like I said, those are question marks that we're not going to know until the team gets on the field and we actually see it in action. You can prepare all day long in practice for that. It's when the lights come on and you're actually on the stage. It's when you have to be able to perform that type stuff. And we're just not going to know until that happens. Surely to goodness, they've fixed at least some of those problems, but you're also talking about 18, 19-year-old kids sometimes their heads get flustered when things go bad. These are not seasoned professional athletes.
Yeah.
But even seasoned pros sometimes get flustered.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about 18, 19-year-olds and you're trying to herd cats. Sometimes it's a monumental task to get the mental part of things correct. But that's what the good teams do. That's that Kirby Smart has been able to do that at Georgia. Nick Saban did that for so long at Alabama. Kurt Signetti has obviously been able to do that at Indiana, with just the mental factor of things that go in. Something bad happens and it doesn't destroy you. It's like you just keep
have to be a little bit
forward.
robotic.
Yeah,
at times.
absolutely.
Because that was one of the things too. Let me relive something more positive in the annals of the last 10 or 15 years. When you had all those Nick Saban teams that were really, really good, what always amazed me and why I knew this place was special, why Jordan Hare was special, is some of those Alabama teams that would end up coming here did not look anything like they did the entire rest of the season.
Yeah.
They would do things here in these road Iron Bowls and have horrible snaps and take dumb penalties and do things that you just watched 11 games Alabama not do.
Yeah.
Heck, not even, they'd occasionally lose a game before the Iron Bowl, they'd have a Texas A&M loss or whatever, LSU loss, and that you didn't even see it in those games, really. Right. But then in the Iron Bowl, it's like, oh, yeah, they just, Mac Jones throwing a pick six now, and Jalen Hurts can't catch a snap, and, they're false starting 5 times, like all those things, and it's like, man, Jordan Hare's special. But that's part of why their programs were so great, because they wouldn't normally do that.
Sure.
And that's a very college thing to do, is that, you're going to false start a bunch and you're going to commit these mental errors and the crowd's going to get to you a little bit. That's why the home winning percentage is so good, because, we're still at like 70% the home team wins. So.
But also to their credit, though, they would have a game, talking about Alabama in Jordan Hare Stadium, would have a game like that, and a lot of times they would still win that game, because even through the adversity, they'd find a way to not let it, affect the ultimate outcome, and they would still find a way to win. And you can say the same thing about Georgia. The times that Georgia has come into Jordan Hare Stadium and looked awful, but find a way to win, because they did not let that adversity completely derail what they're trying to do. And that's something Auburn's going to have to figure out, because over the last few years, they have not had that type of aspect about them.
All right, we need to take our first time out here of the program on this Wednesday edition of Sports Call. Coming up next, we'll get to your phone calls on the Sports Call phone line. Again, this is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
We need a timeout. Sports Call will be back after this quick break.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
High temperatures today will once again be in the mid-90s, with heat index values in the mid-100s, around 105, 106, maybe 107. Yesterday, we saw some around 110. We will see mostly sunny skies and a only small chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, about a 10% chance, with lows into the low 70s. Tomorrow, similar dynamic with the temperatures for those who do not see rain, but we'll see a bit more scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, about a 1 in 3 probability of any one spot getting wet. Lows again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
On Saturdays, we all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Credit Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS number 530633.
You remember the burgers, you remember the buns, you even remember the ice, but you forgot the beer? Rookie mistake. Save the cookout by showing up with Blue Moon Belgian White. Its crisp, refreshing taste with Valencia orange peel and that iconic orange garnish turns an oops into an awesome. Because when the beer's this good, people tend to forget what you forgot in the first place. Blue Moon Belgian White, made brighter. Please enjoy responsibly.
Scott Hawley State Farm is proud to support area high school sports and the local community. Whether you need auto coverage, home coverage, or financial services, you can rest easy knowing that Scott Hawley has your back. Stop by and see him today at 778 North Dean Road, Suite 200 in Auburn. Or for more information, call 877-5876 or find him at ScottHolly.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Scott Hawley State Farm, proud to be a supporter of area high school sports.
In a world meant for everyone, what if you built a career just for you? A construction career offers new possibilities and the freedom to create your next adventure. A construction career brings new puzzles and exciting challenges every day. One made from your own blueprint, where no 2 days are the same, because the right fit isn't found. It's custom built. Custom build your career at GoBuildAlabama.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Construction Recruitment Institute, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Looking to put the cherry on top of the perfect meal? Honey Baked Ham in Opelika has you covered with desserts that are almost too good to share. From our rich cinnamon and blueberry coffee cakes to southern pecan, apple caramel walnut, and more, our pies are pure comfort in every bite. And if cakes are your thing, we've got coconut, triple chocolate, and of course, a classic red velvet that'll make you wish every day was dessert day. There's no better way to finish your meal than with a sweet treat from Honey Baked Ham. Come get yours today, located at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
I'm Corey Grant, former Auburn football and NFL running back, and you are listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie and Tom Peavy with you here today. We've got Connor Knight on the board taking your phone calls on, again, this another hot Wednesday afternoon. I think it cooled down about a degree. It was like 96 the other day. Now it's 95.
Went from like 107 to 106.
And the heat index, yeah.
Yeah.
Really cooling off.
Yeah, a little cool snap. We're out of triple digits.
Yeah. I did see some meteorologists say again, in general, a little bit cooler over the weekend. And they said that seriously, and it still was like 91 and 92. And I was like, well, they didn't lie, but there's nothing cool about anything with a 9 starting it. So, but yes, a few degrees cooler coming up this weekend. All right, let's head to the Sports Call phone line for the first time today, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. First up,
Ward Dam Steve.
retired Ward Dam Steve joins us. Steve, how are you doing today?
Well, guys, it's always a day when you allow me on the show, and I hear your comments, and I'm ready to get started because I got some fun stuff to throw at you, okay?
All right.
And I haven't even heard the fun stuff yet. I haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast on your Town's Name Tuesday. Just give me a teaser. Are these going to be towns that I'm going to say, holy crap?
I mean, I would say so. Tom got one correct, and Brooks got one correct, and we had states we've not had before. So
okay. So who compiled the town names?
I did. I've done it the last couple of times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's start off with something that I said, wow. I can't believe this guy did, because I'm watching it on replay right now, and I'd hate to be the person that's the batter. I'm talking about Fernando. Is it Tatis or Tatis Jr.?
Tatis, yeah. Tatis.
Tatis Jr. You saw what he did, right?
I didn't see it. I mean, I know he hit multiple home runs.
Well, I'm watching right now from the Athletic, and over again, I said, I can't get enough of it. He robbed the hitter. Who's the batter? Yeah, here it is. He robbed a batter of a grand slam. The batter was Francisco Lindor. He would have had a grand slam, but he reaches over. What's the name of Fernando? What's his name?
Tatis.
Yeah, and it just, I mean, it would have been a grand. It would have been home, and he goes over the barrier and grabs it with one hand.
Yeah,
robbed him of a grand slam, and the Padres end up beating the Mets 5-2 because of that.
Yeah, big play. He's a great player.
I didn't know he was that great, though, but wow, what a guy. Okay, moving on. I heard your comments about the practice results today, and this came to my attention from Nathan. He said he was talking to someone during Tuesday's practice who said the staff was very high, he said, on Christian Neptune. And then he went to Mr. Chaz Nimrod, and so this caught my attention. He said, the Bulls' passing game, according to this person, became a lot less consistent after Chaz Nimrod's injury in October. So I know if you guys were aware of, I guess, how great a player he must be, or I guess, what do you know about Mr. Nimrod, and were you surprised to hear that about him by this person?
Well, I've talked, throughout the fall that, I don't think people should expect it to just be, Keyshawn Singleton is beating Auburn's lead wide receiver. I think that it will very much vary on a game-to-game basis, and that Chaz Nimrod got hurt, as you mentioned, and if he had not, he might have actually led the team in receiving yards last year over Keyshawn Singleton. He was a big play guy. I think the average yards of reception was near 20. So he was not a high volume receiver, but the 3, 4, 5 catches he would have per game were usually be big chunk plays. So he's going to be a huge part of this. Again, I don't think that you can just, even though people kind of gravitate around Keyshawn Singleton and then maybe secondary wise, they would look at Chaz Nimrod. I don't think you can gravitate towards just one or two guys and say that's going to make up most of Auburn's receiving offense. I think they're going to have, similar to the running back room, maybe not as deep by wide receiver standards, but they're going to have 4 or 5 guys that they play a lot and are going to make some big time plays for them.
Well, I thought to me it was just rather remarkable and telling that this person who's close to the Bulls program said that their passing game was a lot less consistent when he got injured, after he got injured.
Sure.
So he must be a key cog in their offense and passing offense, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, we already broke it down. He was a bigger play guy. So when you lose a guy that's making these big plays, you're going to hurt a little bit.
I'm kind of losing. I'm losing you at times. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go to a lighter venue here. And this caught my attention from my daughter. I said, really? How about the preseason college football bottom 10?
Okay. That's what Ryan McGee does?
Ryan McGee, yeah. It was hilarious because apparently he's at the beach reading the print newspaper of his article. And the guy walks up to him and tells him, hey, I keep noticing that you're starting the back of the newspaper reading in reverse. He said, a sure sign of a heat stroke. And he told me that's my job. I read from the bottom. So he goes on to that, he's doing his bottom 10. Apparently he'd read it already, though. The guy that approached him, he said, he takes off what he was wearing on top of his shirt and shows a maroon. It has UMass on it, tank top. And of course, he calls Massachusetts. And at that point, the guy storms off and gives him the finger. So here's his top bottom 10. It's UMass, and he has nice little bylines about each one. 0-12. I know they're that bad, guys. Did you know that? UMass?
Yeah, they were pretty awful.
Okay. Number 2 is Sam Houston. He says we have a problem. 2-10. Georgia State, 1-11.
Yeah.
Dale McGee's still coaching them, I think.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
believe so.
All right. Number 4, Charlotte. JJ wouldn't like that. They're 1-11. And then this one also made me laugh. Number 5 is Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah. He said he's already received Yeah, he said, I've already received a cease and desist letter from his lawyer and an angry lunchbox note from his mom. All right. Number 6 is Sacramento State.
Okay.
Number 7, Northern Illinois. Number 8, Ulm, pronounced, well, ULM, Ulm.
Uh-huh.
And number 9 is UTEPid.
Uh-huh.
And finally, number 10 is Butler, Tennessee State.
Yep. Some rough football across the bottom 10.
Now, I'm going to throw these in for you. These are his waiting list to be in the bottom 10. Baller State, Mexico State, State of Kent, Acrimonious, and Minute Rice, and the GMs. We're going to change the business, but are now out of the business. Okay. So I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, he's been doing that column for a long time. I've always enjoyed reading those.
Okay. So here's some guys that struck me as not being hilarious from The Athletic a few days ago. I'm about to bring your attention. Mike McDonald signing Terrion Arnold as a good opportunity for Seahawks. I'm saying, wait a minute. Why are you signing this guy? The Detroit Lions, less than a week after he was arrested on what? Charges of kidnapping and robbery in June.
Yeah.
Guys, help me out here. Why would you take this guy to begin with? I know he's innocent, proven guilty, but good Lord, isn't this a bit of a risky? And by the way, he was charged with 8 felony counts stemming from a February incident. I'm reading this from Athletic. 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of armed robbery.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I read some of that back when the story came out, and I again, as you said, the innocent proven until proven guilty, but it just kind of eliminates that you are, when you're in sports, you're about what's going to help you win, and you worry about all the other stuff later, and so they're probably thinking if he doesn't get convicted, or even if he does, but it's a very short term, no prison or whatever, then he just gets suspended by the NFL, and then they get him after that. Like I know with the Falcons, James Pierce Jr., has these assault charges and, domestic battery and all this, and, things that seemed very clear he would end up in jail. And now he's not going to go to jail, but the league suspended him for 8 games. So now he doesn't go to jail. He's suspended for half a year, but he gets to play. So they're probably thinking something along those lines with Terrion Arnold.
Well, call me old school, but I mean, do ethics and character have little impact anymore?
Not really. You ask some form of that question, I feel every couple months.
Yeah.
And I guess you'd ask yourself, Steve, if you keep having to ask it,
It's a rhetorical question, yes.
Yeah, because
these things should matter. They should matter,
Yeah, if you've done something that should put you in jail, you shouldn't be playing. Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have a job. You'd be fired from a lot of jobs for that. And
well, let's put that aside. But Ron, their own people in the NFL said we want this guy. The Detroit Lions, let him go.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he got fired from his job, and yet someone else is. Again,
and they don't care about that. Hey, this team let him go. Well, why are we doing? What are we doing looking at him?
Yeah, because he's. Again, they don't care. They say he's talented. He can help them win, and they want to be there when he's ruled that he can play.
Okay, let's go to the more dastardly category, and that's with the sale of the Lakers. Apparently, it's not a done deal because one of the siblings, her name is Bessie. I forgot her last name. Anyway, she ain't going for it.
Yeah, Jeannie Buss, who was the majority owner, but now the Busses have a 12.5% stake or so.
So can they override her then?
I don't know, because I
think all of them have to be in favor of the sale, and one is holding it up.
Jeannie again,
Jeannie is the one.
I would say that's probably fair because again, when Dr. Jerry Buss died, he had all these children to gift the team to. Jeannie, in a lot of ways, has been the figurehead for their operation. That doesn't mean she's been doing all the behind the scenes stuff, but she's been more the public figure. And so, there has been gnashing of teeth on how the Lakers have been run at times because of the other bus children, more so than Jeannie. And so it's not completely similar from the Steinbrenners with the Yankees, but it is. There's just more variables, obviously, because there's more buses. So I don't know, exactly what all the holdups from her end are. Again, the main stake has been sold. That was Walton. He sold it. That was 87% or whatever the team. This is about the minority stake of it. So, I don't know. I haven't read, what exactly her reasoning is for it, but yeah, she's the one to say no right now.
Okay, so the sale is a done deal.
Yeah, the majority sale from Mark Walton to Iger and Kushner, that has nothing to do with the bus. The buses had sold their majority stake to Walton a year ago. And so that's the stake Walt has sold. When they sold, they did not sell all 100% of the Lakers. They sold 87% of them. So the buses have this remaining 12 or 13% stake.
And the NFL has to vote the rest of the owners, right? Have they already done that as well?
The NBA. I don't know if they voted to approve the sale yet or not. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Moving on, because I know who's this guy. Nick Kyrgios tested positive for cocaine.
Yeah, the tennis player.
Yeah, he's a tennis player. Right?
Yep.
You surprised by that?
Actually not. If you follow tennis, Nick Kyrgios is probably one of the wildest players you've ever seen. Even Brooks, who walked in the studio, just started shaking his head. So if you've ever watched tennis, he is a hothead. He's a loudmouth. He gets very emotional, both positively and negatively.
Like John McEnroe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would say worse because he's not as good as McEnroe.
Yeah.
So it's harder to even put up with it when you're just throwing tennis rackets and you're losing in the second round of these tournaments. So, I would have never assumed someone's on drugs, but he has always been the most outspoken and most unique personality, I would say, of these last 20 years, 15 years.
Okay. The name came up in Athletic. The Athletic gives me all kind of information I never would know about. All right. On this day, guys, in 1909, and I know you guys like this more than I care for this particular sport. What happened in 1909 on this date? And I know I wasn't around either.
Something baseball related?
Nope, not that sport.
It
involves racing cars.
I don't think NASCAR doesn't run that far back, does it? I don't think it does.
What was the date again?
1909.
1909. Were you there, Tom?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Okay, It was the very first race held at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I had just put the last brick down, and I mortared the last brick on the asphalt there. I just forgot about it. I got a little overheated.
Okay, well, I know you're laughing right now, but it was not a fun day for this event, guys. I'm reading from the Discovery Channel, History Channel. They had rock for the racetrack. Okay, and apparently because of that, 2 drivers died, 2 mechanics died, and 2 spectators died in that particular event.
That's rough.
So that was not a good day for them.
Yeah,
the actual Indy 500, though, began August 19th. Okay, well, 1909. There's only 12,000 spectators, but the real Indy 500 went in 1911.
Okay, shortly after. I got you.
Yeah. By the way, you want to know what the actual speed was for the first? It was 57.4 miles per hour.
I was going to say, I bet you it's not the 230 they do today.
No. And in the actual first Indy 500, the winner went 74.59 miles per hour.
Okay, almost could get a speeding ticket.
That.
Yeah,
almost.
I can beat that, believe me. And I have beaten that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, guys, I saw the sad note. Mr. Falk has a season-ending injury, right? Shoulder injury, collarbone, was it?
Yeah, collarbone out through at least the start of November. Probably could be out the whole regular season, but they're only saying at least start of November right now.
How unfortunate for him, and what kind of a critical loss is this for us, for the team, or not?
I mean, he was
It's
going to
depth.
be probably on the second string on those edge rushers. So I mean, I think he would have played some, but I don't think he would have been out there on critical downs or anything like that. I think he was just a part of the, as Tom said, the depth. So be looking for other guys to fill that void. But that Auburn should not be looking at it and saying, man, oh man, we're not getting to the passer because we don't have JJ Falk. Like, I was optimistic to see the kid. Obviously, we know what his brother did here, but it's very unfortunate for him. But I don't think it changes their dynamic much.
Okay, and guys, I haven't had a chance to listen to all the podcasts, but I don't know, has Jeff called in? Because I want to see his comments to my challenge of beating the Bulldogs this year in wearing my underwear.
He's not called in this week. He called in last week, but no,
Okay.
I haven't heard him this week.
What about Luke and Anthony? Have we heard from them any?
Yes, Luke called in last week. I believe it was Friday. Anthony called in multiple times last week.
Okay. TP?
He called in last week too. I mean, we had just about everybody last week. We had less callers this week, but again, we were busy yesterday. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to hear people's comments if they think I need to get on some medication or not. So, with that said, thank you guys for your time. My time is way up. Yeah, have a safe afternoon and evening, and I'll see how many towns I may not recognize. All right, guys. Until tomorrow. Next time, War Eagle.
War Eagle Steve, we appreciate that is retired War Dam Steve joining us on the Sports Call phone line. We got.
Speaking of War Eagle, that was one of the towns.
Yeah. He already hung up, so you probably didn't hear that. But yeah, War Eagle, Arkansas was one of the towns yesterday. But got a minute or two left here in hour number 1. Again, a little bit later, we'll be on to previewing Ole Miss. They are up next today as we get to number 3. Texas will be tomorrow, and Georgia will be on Friday. Next week, I don't know exactly what order we'll do the Power 4 conferences. We'll do a group of 5 preview, group of 6 preview, I should say. The Pac-12 is now alive again. And we'll do, again, the Power 4 conferences Tuesday through Friday. So got that all coming up here, and then you got week 0 next weekend. We are 10 days away from the season starting. 17 until Auburn Baylor. So I don't know. It's not pretty exciting, man.
It is that time of year. Like I said, it doesn't feel like it outside, but it is here. It's about to be football season, and we'll get it all the way until February. Super Bowl's in February.
Yep.
So yeah,
mid-February.
So yeah, get it cranked up and ride it until February.
I know what. Have you seen what day it is this year? Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Good luck to those in relationships, which is a lot of people.
Hi, we're going to date tonight for
to the Buffalo Wild Wings. Yes,
absolutely.
To a place with TVs.
Yep.
So that'll be funny for everyone. All right, that will do it for us here in hour 1 of the program. Coming up, we'll again talk some baseball. We'll also talk more about more lawsuit time. Yeah, we'll cover it briefly, not harp on it, but update you on the latest round of lawsuits and how they may impact the season. And again, like I said, 5 o'clock hour, we'll get into Ole Miss football. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
One hour of our show is in the books. We've got more to come. Stay tuned for another hour of Sports Call right after the break.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
Weekdays from noon until 3 p.m. Join Tilly the Elder Emo for Flashback Lunch and all your favorite alternative rock in the afternoon. Only on Tiger 95.9 and on the Tiger Communications app.
For over 20 years, Auburn Reprographics and Supply has been your trusted source for printing, scanning, and managing wide format blueprints and building projects. But I'm here to tell you there's so much more. Multiple printing options allows Auburn Reprographics the versatility to provide full-color, inexpensive posters to signs, banners, fine art, and canvas prints to include vehicle graphics for your mobile media advertising. Come by our office at 660 North Dean Road in Auburn and trust our experience and local business relationships at Auburn Reprographics. We look forward to earning your business.
The Atlanta Falcons are back in the hunt for a playoff berth, and you can come along for the ride. Tune in to your exclusive home in East Alabama for the Falcons. Tiger 95.9 all season long for all the hard-hitting action.
Still looking left, checks it back across the middle, intercepted on the backside. Jesse Bates, 20, 15, 10, 5, house call. Touchdown Atlanta. Jesse Bates has a pick six.
This new-look team has their eyes set on the playoffs, and you don't want to miss a single second of the action.
And here goes Bijan Robinson, 30, 35, 40, midfield. It's a foot race. Robinson, 30, 15, 10, 5, house call. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. He just went 93.
For a complete schedule of broadcasts, make sure to visit our website, thetiger.fm.
Snap spot. It is good. Fly home safely. Atlanta wins.
It's another action-packed season of Atlanta Falcons football on Tiger 95.9.
Brought to you locally by Ken Dry of East Alabama, Coca-Cola, Fairway Auto Brokers, the Honey Baked Ham Company, Jimmy's Car Stereo, and Miller Lite.
The Breast Cancer Research Foundation of Alabama supports a comprehensive approach to battling breast cancer through supportive, collaborative, and innovative research to help diagnose, treat, prevent, and eradicate the disease. Since its inception in 1996, the BCRFA has raised over $7.7 million to fund research. All funds stay right here in the state of Alabama, but the research will have a global, life-saving impact. BCRFA.org.
It's heating up at Suns Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Suns Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sunsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Suns Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
Whether it's enjoying a night in with good friends and close family or having some fun in the great outdoors, don't forget to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola from one of your 17 local TK's convenience stores. Every sip of an ice-cold, refreshing Coke helps make whatever you are doing memorable. With a variety of options to choose from, TK's has a Coke for every occasion. So stop by any one of your local 17 TK's convenience stores today and pick up an ice-cold Coca-Cola. TK's convenience stores, always there when you need us.
TK's Convenience Stores, your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have, but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, at TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's Convenience Stores, now with 17 locations to better serve you. Always there when you need us.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Maxwell with Fairway Auto Brokers. Back to school deals are here and you deserve a new ride. With over 150 of the finest pre-owned vehicles in stock, we make car buying fun and easy for the whole family. As Lee County's #1 place to buy a pre-owned vehicle, come see why Fairway is the difference. Visit us at www.fab-auto.com or stop by today at 1777 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Alabama.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
We all know Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn has you covered when it comes to car stereos, accessories, and expert installation. But did you know Jimmy's is also your go-to spot for ATV and UTV gear? They've got 32-inch sassies, 3,500, 4,500, and 6,000-pound winches. Lighting, whips, laser lights, side mirrors, bumpers, phone holders, and rear mirrors. So whether you're upgrading your ride, decking out your ATV or UTV, or adding audio to your boat, Jimmy's has the gear and the know-how to make it happen. Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn. If it rolls, rides, or floats, Jimmy's makes it sound better.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves fall to the Twins in Game 2. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Tidal Wave Auto Spa is the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves and your go-to car wash destination all season long. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com to find a location nearest you.
The bats could not get kicking in Game 2 as the Braves fall to the Twins 4-1. Josh Bell hits a home run, a two-run jack in the first inning. That is all that the Twins would need. The Braves did get a home run in the 6th from Drake Baldwin, his first home run this month, but could not get anything else. Tyler Mahle got the loss, drops to 4-10, but he still pitched very well in his third outing with the Atlanta Braves. 6 2/3, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. He did what any good starting pitcher should do. He kept the Braves in it, but unfortunately, the bats stayed silent. The Braves look to avoid the sweep coming up today. Taj Bradley for the Twins. He'll be on the mound. He's 9-5, has a 3.98 ERA. AJ Smith-Shawver up from Gwinnett. He gets the ball for the Braves. He has no record in one start this season. Went 4 1/3, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in that one. 4 leadoff show at 12:25 Eastern time and first pitch between the Braves and the Twins. 1:45 Eastern, 12:45 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents Sports Call. It's time to join our Sports Call crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Second hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you here today. We got Connor Knight on the board producing the show as we continue to broadcast live all of the ways you're accustomed to, plus YouTube and Facebook. You can watch us on those mediums. Again, with at Sports Call Auburn there on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be putting our poll up on X a little bit later at Sports Call AU when we get to previewing Ole Miss and how many games the Rebels will win this year. So look forward to that. Also, again, we start this hour. Want to remind you about all the high school programming because coming up after our show today, we will have the first high school coaches show of the season as we get set for high school football here in the state of Alabama this Friday night, kicking it all off on the airwaves of Tiger Communications. We'll have Beauregard Realtown Friday night, Lynette Lochapoka over on FM Talk 93.9, and Beauregard right here on 95.9, both airing at 6:30. Going to be a good time. So, but Brooke Childers will start us off with the high school coaches show from Waldo's Chicken and Beer coming up tonight, right after our show. All right, so I promised a lawsuit. A lawsuit conversation for a moment. The latest thing that you need to know, and again, I don't enjoy talking about this, and especially not closer to the season, ready to focus on the sport, but Matt Zennett's reporting this morning with the 2022 recruiting class being granted another year of college eligibility. There are players who've signed NFL contracts who are now looking into filing lawsuits that would allow them to return to college and possibly even transfer. Sources tell me. No.
Yeah.
N-O. No. Like, again, this is where you just get into how much you've lost the plot of what this is supposed to be. And I get the NCAA's had trouble enforcing a bunch of their stuff. This is a very cut and dried rule. And I feel like it makes a lot of common sense, you know? You don't get to just go back to do something when you've moved on to the next level. There is still another level. Even if you want to talk about in college football, the money that's going into it now and the prestige of certain programs and what these recruits are being paid, the NFL is still more. It's still more of all of it. It's still more money. It's more TV. It's more revenue. It's more viewership. It's more people, like, period. It's still above it. And when you declare and when you sign to go to that next level, and that works for any of these next levels, NFL, NBA, MLB, then you're done. You've moved on. You have signed something that's setting yourself apart from the previous level that you were on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly getting to a point where I start to not even be able to, take the, oh, well, I see their side of the argument equation, because that's what I typically try to do.
Right.
I typically, whether I agree with one side or not, I present them both to you and say, here's their reasoning, here's their rationale, here's how you can support that side of the equation. But all you're doing when you sign stuff like this is saying that you're not good enough for the level you signed up for, that you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you're cowering from that level and trying to take back advantage of the former level that you so arrogantly left. And I know that they're going to say, oh, well, we didn't know we'd have this extra year of eligibility. Well, others did, because others waited. Others didn't sign contracts. Others entered the transfer portal with seemingly no eligibility. We kind of scoffed at the time, and they ended up being right. You made the decision to go on to this next level. I can't, it doesn't feel like it's just not real world stuff. And I'm not really in favor of creating less real world scenarios. You you don't get to in life, okay? Say you're, I don't know, say you're an engineer, okay? And let's just say you work for a generic engineering company, okay? You go on and you take a new job, okay? And it's going to be a little bit of a pay raise, same side of town, whatever. For whatever reason, after 2 weeks, you're like, oh no, I hate this. I hate the people here, or money's not worth it, or actually the drive's awful. I didn't realize it. I'm going back to the other place. You can't just make them take you back. Maybe they filled that position. Maybe you burned a bridge by leaving in the first place. It's going to be sometimes maybe you can, but most times, no, you cannot. And you certainly can't sue them and say, you're giving me my job back.
Right.
You definitely can't do that. So why did we now have to cater to guys that are trying to create new rules that shouldn't exist? I'm so frustrated. Like, I guess it's just a 10 minutes of what are we doing segment, basically, is what this turns out to be. But it does not make any sense to allow this to happen. I don't think it will, but
you never know what these judges are going to do. Because, I mean, you didn't think that judges would side with some of this other stuff that they've sided with. And it just scratches your head. And you're like, how is that even possible? No, it's stupid. If you move on from college and you sign with the pros, and that's what you've done. You have made that decision. You don't get to go back on it now. I don't know why this has even become a thing like that. I can't wrap my head around why it's even a thing.
It's literally sue everybody.
Sure.
It's my world. It revolves around me.
Everything. Exactly. I'm going to get what I want. And if I can't, then I'm going to sue you for it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And hopefully somebody will just squash that really quick and not cave into it, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, I got a show topic today and Tom's like, no, I want to talk about the Braves losing the Twins. And I said, no, we're not going to get to that today. All right, fine. I'm going to sue you.
Yep.
We should talk Braves Twins today. Maybe we will. I don't know. But, it just can't always be yes, yes, yes. The world does not work that way. You already made, if you're signing NFL contracts, you already made hundreds of thousands, maybe millions in college.
Right.
And it also shows you, let me see, this is the less vitriol side of it. Let me just show you a practical application. It does show you how much they're getting paid in college, that you would even want to go back. I know these guys are probably not guys that were actually drafted and have big lucrative rookie deals. Are probably the guys that are about to be on practice squads rather than actual active 53-man rosters.
Sure.
But okay, the practice squad, you get $10,000 a week. I have to go double check, but you make six figures if you're on the practice squad throughout the year.
Right.
I'd like to make six figures. I'll be a tackling dummy for 18 weeks. But it shows you the value, and it shows you that the college product has increased a lot because you have gotten to a point where these guys are so desperate to stay in it as long as possible. And you know why? Because it's not the real world. You know what this also is? In a way, it's the athletic version of Van Wilder or something.
Right.
It's like, I just never want to graduate. Never want to move on in real life.
Yeah.
This is fake, and I know it. I just want to stay here and party. And that's what it feels like these guys are doing. Like they don't want to move on. They don't want to accept the fact that they may or may not make it in the National Football League. They want to add years to their college career. Again, that's probably the part that you can at least understand. But the methods and the end to this, it just does not seem like we are approaching an end to this. And I can't believe some of it. Let's get a phone call in here, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Next up today,
Tony from Tuskegee.
Tony joins us. Tony, how are you doing today?
Let me ask you something. What's the difference in a coach leaving college football and going to the pros and then coming back?
That they've usually been fired from the NFL.
Yeah, but what's the difference in a coach getting suspended by the NCAA and filing suit to come back and coach again? After football with the NIL, it's become a professional business now. It's no longer just college football now.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and this is it would be if the coach, let's just say Lane Kiffin decides he wants to leave LSU and go coach the Dallas Cowboys, and he gets to Dallas. LSU has already they've already named a new head coach, and then Lane Kiffin's like, you know what? Actually, I want to go back to LSU. And they're like, no, dude, we've already filled the coach. You chose to leave to go to Dallas. We've already filled it. And then he's going to say, nope, I'm going to sue you, said that you have to rehire me. He can't do that. And a player can't choose to leave school, sign a contract, and then go, oh, no, you have to take me back or I'm going to sue you.
Well, the worst thing they did is this NIL thing. And if a player signed at Auburn, signed at Tuskegee, he ought to be designated to play there that 4 years. Unless he can leave after his third year and go NFL. Back a while back in the days, what they had, you could play 1 year and go NFL, 1 or 2. But see, it's a complete business now. And everybody making money. Lawyers, you think a lawyer's not going to... The lawyer, the firm made that case. You know, I just...
It's a control. You got your radio.
Turn your radio down so we can hear you.
You know, whatever for the kids, because the schools have gotten rich for how many years since football started. Schools have gotten rich. Kids can come back because it's not. Unless you're going to Duke, somewhere them schools like that, and all that, them schools like Duke, Providence, Layton Hall, somewhere like that. But you know, if a kid can come there and make their money, that's it.
I'm just not sure how this applies, though, Tony, and I can still hear your radio in the background.
I understand what I'm saying. And he shouldn't be allowed to pursue college again. I understand that.
Well, he can pursue college a degree again. I don't have any problem with that. But yeah, not the games. Yeah, athletically. I understand. Yeah, I'm just being clear too. Like you have every right to go back and continue education. But yeah, from the athletic standpoint, I don't see how you should be able to do it because you're now saying that you signed something that said you were above this level, and now you're trying to go back to the level in which you said you were above. And you can't just free flow like that. I mean, imagine for the heck of it, someone that lost their starting quarterback job in the NFL this year, say J.J. McCarthy, who lost it to Kyler Murray, said, okay, now I'm going to go back and be the Michigan quarterback now. Well, why? Well, you can't have free roam. This is not these are not AAA, AA affiliates. Right. College is a big deal, but it's still different and set apart from what's going on at the NFL level, and it needs to stay that way.
Is that almighty dollar?
I know the why. I think it's crazy. No, I just think it's crazy, and there has to be some limitation at some point. We can't go on forever and ever and say no rules apply. It's like whatever the advertiser said. There's no rules, and then the guy says, "Well, put your shirt back on." Okay, there's one rule. It can't be. It can't be to where nothing can be enforced. Everything in every walk of life has some sort of rule that if you break, there's some sort of penalty. And what is being tested in the NCAA is every rule. And at some point, some of this is going to have to be redone so that it can be enforced.
Yeah. Didn't President Saban tell y'all it had gotten out of hand?
Yeah. The one true president, Nick Saban. Yeah, he had said that. Yeah,
He got another hand. That's one of the reasons I think he had got another. And I think it's going to get worse. So.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Let me ask you one other question. On Auburn depth chart for defensive backs, how's that stand right now?
For DBs,
DBs.
Yeah. So I think at corner, they're definitely going to want to play Rayshawn Pleasant a good bit. He was on the team last year, the Tulane transfer. I do think that they're going to mix in a bunch of guys in the backfield like they did last year. I definitely think you'll see Champ Anthony.
What does Joe Phillips play?
He's edge, outside linebacker.
Outside, how is he on the depth chart? You have any idea?
Yeah, I don't. I think that he is probably, I guess he would stand to benefit some. I hate to say it that way, but he'd probably move up a spot with JJ Falk getting hurt. That is the same position, that edge rusher. So I think it could give him a second team opportunity at that point. But I would have said prior to today, the backups for the starters would have been J.J. Falk and Nate Johnson, and then Joe Phillips would be on third team, but maybe this gives him the opportunity to move up to second team.
Joe Phillips, third team?
Yeah, I think it could be second team. Yeah, could be second team.
Okay. All right, then I enjoyed talking to y'all.
Yes, sir, Tony. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
Yep, that is Tony from Tuskegee joining us on the Sports Call phone line. Yeah, again, I look, there's an understated, because I know we said this with our buddy Anthony all the time. There's an understated deal and understanding here where we understand that the money, the almighty dollar, is ruling all the decision making, all the process. But there's limits to everything, and that's what we are trying to get at here. Is that, I understand why you would want to go back to college, because you're not going to cut it in the NFL, or because you're going to make more money in college that year. But you have to understand that can be labeled as two things. One, that's not how real life works. But two, in a way, can I label it an unfair competitive advantage if you've been in an NFL training camp?
Yeah.
And you've been getting these NFL coaching and NFL reps. You've been playing against guys that are bigger and stronger and faster than the guys you're going to play on Saturdays. And then you go back. That can be a little bit of an advantage. So I also could label it that way, that it's a bit of a competitive advantage to get a few months on an NFL roster and then try to come back. So that's the latest round of potential lawsuits. We'll see if they work out. Obviously, they'll have to be done sooner rather than later because the season starts, and again, 10 days with week 0 and 17 until Auburn Baylor. Let's take our first time out here of the 4 o'clock hour. You are listening to the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, the Tiger Communications app, and streaming live on Facebook and YouTube.
Sports Call that's been on the air since 1995.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union give you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
High temperatures today will once again be in the mid-90s with heat index values in the mid-100s, around 105, 106, maybe 107. Yesterday we saw some around 110. We will see mostly sunny skies and a only small chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, about a 10% chance with lows into the low 70s. Tomorrow, similar dynamic with the temperatures for those who do not see rain, but we'll see a bit more scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, about a 1 in 3 probability of any one spot getting wet. Lows again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Whether it's enjoying a night in with good friends and close family or having some fun in the great outdoors, don't forget to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola from one of your 17 local TK's convenience stores. Every sip of an ice-cold refreshing Coke helps make whatever you are doing memorable. With a variety of options to choose from, TK's has a Coke for every occasion. So don't forget to stop by any one of your local 17 TK stores today and pick up an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Football season is here, Auburn. Let Waldo's Chicken and Beer on South Collins Street take care of the cooking for your next tailgate. We offer catering with delivery so you can spend more time enjoying the game and less time in the kitchen. Watching from home, we've got you covered there too. Waldo's proudly supports our local high school teams, and we offer convenient to-go orders for your away games. Reserve your catering dates now at a.u.catering@waldos.com. Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Let us handle the food while you handle the fun.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Our Falcons play here. What we do on the grass, what we do in this weight room, it's been fun to watch. A bunch of professionals. It's a new team and a new season. Catch Falcons head coach Kevin Stefanski and our Falcons Saturday for game 2 of the preseason as our Falcons travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts.
Atlanta Falcons football on WTGC Tiger 95.9.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
This is former Auburn football player Danny Skutak, and you are listening to the Abby Award-winning Sports Call Auburn.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of the Sports Call Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you here today. Got Connor Knight running the production side of things for us, which again includes the audio, but also the visuals for you on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Call Auburn. Going to be a fun night tonight at the high school coaches show. Again, you can listen to it right here on Tiger 95.9. It's going to be live from Waldo's Chicken and Beer. You can come by and say hello to Brooks. He's going to be out there, of course, interviewing all the great coaches from across the area as we look forward to another fun season of high school football. Speaking of fun, let's continue on here. And speaking of Waldo's, with the Waldo's Chicken and Beer birthdays in sports.
It's time for today's birthdays in sports.
Today on the Waldo's Chicken and Beer birthdays, Nate Burleson is 45. He was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2003 NFL Draft out of the University of Nevada.
Oh, Wolfpack.
He enjoyed an 11-year career as a wide receiver and return specialist. Broke out in 2004 with the Minnesota Vikings, logging his sole 1,000-yard receiving season. He joined the hometown Seattle Seahawks in 2006, establishing himself as a key target and dynamic returner. He became the only player in NFL history to record 3 punt return touchdowns of 90 yards or longer. In 2010, he signed with the Detroit Lions, serving as a reliable veteran option alongside Calvin Johnson. Burleson retired following the 2013 season with 457 receptions, over 5,600 yards, and 39 receiving touchdowns.
He went to O'Day High School in Seattle, Washington. Go Fighting Irish.
Nate Burleson, 45 today. Kirk and all of his cousins are 38, selected in the 4th round of the 2012 NFL Draft out of Michigan State.
Go Sparty.
He began his career with Washington out of college, initially serving as a backup before earning the starting role in 2015 and securing his first Pro Bowl selection in 2016. In 2018, Cousins signed with the Minnesota Vikings, anchoring their offense across 6 seasons while earning 3 additional Pro Bowl nods. Known for his accuracy and durable pocket presence, he consistently produced 4,000-yard passing seasons and proved himself as one of the league's top statistical passers. He later joined the Atlanta Falcons in 2024, and over his career, has amassed over 44,000 passing yards, nearly 300 touchdowns. Of course, now he's trying to stave off Fernando Mendoza for the starting job in Vegas.
Yep. He went to Holland. Excuse me. He went to Holland Christian High School in Holland, Michigan. Go Maroons.
A different one. Kirk Cousins, 38 today. Bucky Irving is 24, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, selected in the 4th round of the 2004 draft out of Oregon.
Quack, quack.
He immediately made an impact with the Bucs before turning pro, though. He began his collegiate career at Minnesota.
Go Golden Gophers.
In 2021, before transferring to Oregon, where he produced back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons and earned all Pac-12 honors. As a rookie in 2024 with the Bucs, he surged into the primary backfield role, becoming the first Buccaneers player since 2012 to eclipse 1,000 rushing yards in a season. He led all NFL rookies in rushing yards with 1,122 and scrimmage yards with 1,514, earning Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team honors. Known for his dynamic playmaking, dual-threat receiving capability, he continues to be the lead back of Tampa Bay's offense.
He went to Hillcrest High School in Country Club Hills, Illinois. Go Hawks.
So Bucky Irving, 24 today. And Anthony Munoz is 68, selected 3rd overall in the 1980 NFL Draft out of Southern Cal.
Fight on.
The offensive tackle enjoyed a legendary 13-year career spent entirely with the Cincinnati Bengals. Widely considered the greatest offensive line in NFL history, he revolutionized the left tackle position with his unmatched athleticism, footwork, and strength. Anchored the Bengals offense through 2 Super Bowl appearances, earning 11 consecutive Pro Bowl selections from 1981 to 1991 and 9 first-team All-Pro nods. Known for his durability, he missed just 3 games in his first 12 seasons. He was named the 1991 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year and became a first-ballot Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee in 1998.
He went to Chaffee High School in Ontario, California. Go Tigers. And for those on the stream, a very young me with Anthony Munoz in Neyland Stadium.
Very nice.
Happy birthday, Anthony Munoz.
I was wondering, you were messing with the phone. I was like, oh.
When I saw Anthony Munoz on here, I was like, I'm going to find that picture of me and Anthony. That was in
That's cool.
1999 in Neyland Stadium. His son, who ended up going to Tennessee, was on a visit. I was on the sideline working for the Auburn Plainsmen at the time. So Anthony Munoz took a picture with him, and forever that is there.
Very nice. Very nice. That is the Waldo's Chicken and Beer birthdays in sports. Anthony Munoz is 68, Bucky Irving 24, Kirk Cousins 38, and Nate Burleson 45. All right, let's head to our next timeout of the program today. On the other side, we will have time to talk a little bit of baseball. And again, remember, 5 o'clock hour today, we'll be talking about Ole Miss as we get to number 3 in the preseason SEC media poll. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
May we have your attention, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
We're Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show.
My name is
Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
On Saturdays, we all wear orange and blue, but every day, Auburn University Credit Union is proud to serve the people who make this community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, buying your first car, planning for your future, or growing your business, we're here for every chapter, because at Auburn University Credit Union, you're more than a customer. You're a member. You're an owner. Your family. Auburn University Credit Union, rooted in Auburn, committed to you. To learn more, visit myaucu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS number 530633.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich. And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory. It's bold. It's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded one new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
The most in-depth coverage of your favorite high school football team is on Tiger 95.9. Listen to the High School Coaches Show live from Waldo's Chicken on Tiger 95.9 each Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Join me, Brooks Childress, and the rest of the crew as we sit down with all the local high school coaches to go in-depth with their teams. Join us live on location at Waldo's Chicken in Auburn, or order their delicious food to go and listen to the show online at tiger.fm or on the free Tiger Communications app. It's the High School Coaches Show live from Waldo's Chicken Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. on Tiger 95.9. Brought to you by Sons Ford, United Auto Collision, Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, Beauregard Drugs, Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory, and Jimmy's Car Stereo.
Keeping your money in a traditional savings account is like using the Yellow Pages instead of Google. Outdated and slow. Skip the small, slow returns and put your money to work with the Max Elevate Money Market. You get all the same security of a savings account, plus the ability to earn even more on your money. Get started at mymax.com/elevate or call us at 260-2600. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
TK's Convenience Stores are your one-stop shop from Auburn to the Lake and Tallahassee to Tuskegee. Offering friendly service and a clean environment, there is sure to be a TK's located near you. Stop by on your way to and from work or school and pick up everything you need, from beer, soft drinks, and fresh hot coffee to food, snacks, and ice cream. Plus, automotive and household products, pet food, and an ATM in every store. Just look for the orange and blue Starburst sign and stop by your local TK store today. TK's Convenience Stores, they're your one-stop shop. The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
This is Philip Lally, former Auburn Tigers football assistant coach for the 2010 National Championship team, and you are listening to Sports Call.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, the Tiger Communications app. Ryan and Tom with you here today. Connor Knight running the board, taking your phone calls today. If you do want to give us a call, 334-887-3401 locally or toll-free 1-888-9 Tiger 9. Going to talk Ole Miss in hour number 3 as we're down to just 3 more SEC team previews. Ole Miss, Texas tomorrow, and Georgia on Friday.
Yep.
Before we get there, though, we will get to a little baseball today. I left the door of opportunity open. We'll walk through it. I'm glad last week we said the Braves were doing well so that we don't, go to like week number 8 in a row of doubting them and talking about the frustrations or talking about them playing poorly. But unfortunately, we're back to them playing poorly. They get swept by the Minnesota Twins as they lose today 6-4. This is what we were talking about the other day when we were asked, hey, are they for sure going to win the division, go to the playoffs, etc. We were careful to mention that, we're not riding off the division. Yes, I'm standing by. They will make the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. But the capacity in which they make it, there's no telling, because just like that, what was a 9.5 game lead a week ago down to 5 because Philadelphia getting warm. And that's also what I worried about just as much as Atlanta, playing 500 or something of the sort in the last 40, 50 games, is that I knew the Phillies also could still get hot at any moment. I don't fully buy that they're just an average team. And here they are, and they've won 5 in a row. And this Twins team has a lot to say about the last week, because not only did the Twins just sweep the Braves, they were just swept by the Phillies.
Yeah.
So the Twins, you just never know who will impact you. And the Braves can't blame anyone. They played them back-to-back series, and the Braves come out on the swept end of things.
Yep. And it's, back to the same things that were plaguing this team in June and July. Just can't hit the ball. Getting no offense. Your pitching is not doing yourselves any favors, but it's ultimately they just can't hit the ball. And I guess it's not really a surprise. I had said that I thought that the Phillies would eventually chase them down, and here we go. They're coming in hot, and the Braves have lost 5 in a row. I think 5 in a row, and 6 of their last 7, something like that.
4 in a row. I think it's 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
No, it's 3 in a row. It's 4 in a row.
It's 4. It's got to be 4 in a row. But either way,
no, it's 3 in a row. They won the last game of the Diamondback series. It's 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they had avoided the sweep because they were about to get swept by the Diamondbacks.
That's the 5 and 6 you're referring to. Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, they're not playing good brand of baseball right now, and they got to do something, or they're going to get chased down. And I like you said, the Phillies getting hot, the Braves not. I hate to say it's what I predicted, but maybe they'll get it figured out and kind of straighten things. But what was the final score today?
6-4.
6-4. No. Ugh. Not good.
Do you still think they won the division?
Did the Braves?
Yeah.
No. I have been saying I didn't think they would win the division. Make the playoffs. Yes. I've been saying I did not think they would win the division. I've all along I've been saying that I thought the Phillies would eventually catch them. And as the days go by, it looks more and more likely possible.
Yeah.
I think the Phillies just have the team to do it, and I think they'll eventually chase them down.
A week ago, I felt the Braves would definitely win the division. This is the troubling thing about baseball. You try not to be reactionary to a sample size that really doesn't mean anything,
right?
Because quite frankly, Braves losing out of 5 or 6 in a vacuum doesn't mean anything. It's that you are now approaching the stretch run. You have more games with Philadelphia. You know that the Braves have a really tough stretch the next week or two. So they play Chicago tomorrow, which, by the way, White Sox are not a bad baseball team. I hope everyone realizes that by now. The White Sox, as it stands, and that AL Central, which, again, the Braves just tried to eloquently help the Twins out with. I was trying to pull up the exact record. Technology not helping. But Chicago been a decent team this year. So that's not even the problem. The problem is what the Braves do right after the White Sox. Finally, White Sox are 66-60. So, and the AL Central standings, your leaders are the Chicago White Sox. They would be in the playoffs today. Second place is the Minnesota Twins. But after the White Sox, the Braves, Friday night, they're going to have a Chris Sale, Jacob Mizorowski start, I believe, because the Milwaukee Brewers are coming to town. Or actually, I should say the Braves are going to the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Brewers have the best record in the National League. Who has the second best record?
Is it the Cubs?
Nope.
No. It's not the Dodgers because they had a.
It is the Dodgers.
Oh, it is the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe they had gotten past because they had that stretch where they were just they could not win.
Braves are a half game better than the Cubs. Cubs have not even.
Oh, I thought
Braves
I thought the Cubs were on a heater.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought maybe somebody had passed over the Dodgers because they went through a stretch there where they just could not win. So, but it is the Dodgers. Okay.
And the point I'm making there is that that's who the Braves play after the Brewers.
After the Brewers.
So they play the teams with the two best records in the National League, the next two series. Now, here's the good news. Again, as with what is typical of all these baseball teams and all these baseball schedules when you play everybody, the Braves, after playing the Brewers and Dodgers, play the Rockies and the Giants, who are the two worst records in the National League. Go figure.
Yep.
Play the two best and then the two worst in succession. But then in September, we mentioned they got more with Philly. To be exact, they got 7 more with Philadelphia. 4 in Citizens Bank Ballpark and 3 at Truist Park. That one's in the middle of September. The 4 in Philly are early September. So here's the point. The point is that 5-game lead when you play a team 7 times can be chomped on very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're making me pick today, I still think the Braves win the division. I did not think that to start the year. I said they could be a playoff team. And again, I remain relentless in that they will make the playoffs. But it is concerning when you have a pretty lackluster week of offense and you know that the pitching was pretty decent for the most part.
Yeah.
And then you don't really take advantage of any of those games and you just know who you've got coming up. So these next 7, I'll include the White Sox since they came off the sweep here this week, and White Sox are a better record team than the Twins. These next 7 are really important for Atlanta. They got to stabilize because if they keep playing poorly, this could be a 1-6 or 2-5 in the next 7.
Yeah.
And then your league could be down to a couple by the start of next week or the middle of next week. So I find this to be a very important stretch for them.
Yeah.
Anything bad?
It's super important. If you want to hang on to that and keep your chances at winning that division alive. But I don't know. I just don't got the good feeling about it. I feel like the Phillies are. I think the Phillies are just going to get hot and stay hot, and I think the Braves are just trying to figure things out. And I don't know what they have the potential on offense. They just I don't know, can't hit, and I don't know how you solve that. Oh, I do know how you solve that. You don't have the same dadgum hitting coach that you had last year that was awful. You change your entire staff, but hey, the one guy that we're going to keep is probably the one that we needed to get rid of is the hitting coach.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about him a lot this year. We've been focused kind of on the individual players because, you get around the trade deadline. You're not talking hitting coaches. You're not talking pitching coaches when you consider, the player movement and all that sort of thing. So let's update you on some of the offensive statistics. And again, for the season, I want to stress, most of them are still pretty good. That's why it's like you get small sample sizes and you get really upset at that one thing. So just so you know, my stance is not that it's obvious that Tim Hires is doing a bad job. Where do you think the Braves rank in home runs, runs, and batting average? If you had to guess,
probably dead last or close
the season.
To it. Yeah.
See, that's
because I remember pulling stats up for hitting. I know when they were in that stretch and they were like dead last in Major League Baseball in like many categories.
So not trying to make an example out of you, but this is how reactionary people get and how social media can mislead you. So batting average wise, they're 11th, 246 average.
Okay.
In runs in the major leagues, they are 7th.
Okay.
And in home runs, they're 4th. They are nowhere near the bottom in anything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They are 167 homers this year. They're actually tied with Chicago for 4th. And they are only 2 behind 3rd.
I think I think what that stat and
that was for the month of June.
That was for the month of June. That's what it was. The Lindsey Crosby singing. That's what I was just about to say. That was the month of June where they were dead last in those categories. But for the season, they're up near the top of some of that.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. 11th in doubles. Kind of same figure there. Clicking through everything to see if there's anything that they're just grossly bad at. They don't take their walks. If you want one, they're 28th in walks this year. As far as most strikeouts, though, to be fair, they're 22nd. So they strike out the 8th fewest times in baseball. So the point is that do I think Tim Hires doing a bang-up job? I don't. But it's not nearly as bad as what some would lead you to believe. And it's also the way baseball is. I've said this numerous times, and I take it however you want it. If I'm criticizing or not, but when everyone gets into a football mindset, 1 or 2 games is a big sample size. Two out of 12 is 17% of the season, 18% of the season. 2 out of 17 in the NFL is still, quick math, 12% of the season, 13% of the season. 2 out of 162 is about 1 point something percent of the season. Even 10 games is a 16th of the season. 10 games is equivalent to playing like 1 NFL game of a season. So that's my point, is that I try not to get too caught up on the small samples. When you follow it closely, you see these peaks and valleys, and then you just ask yourself, how does this project? Is this a real thing that this player is not going to be able to get out of, or is this something that's temporary and will change with the season? I think that's why when we talked about Austin Riley, we felt it was a little bit more terminal because the numbers have been lowering for the last couple of seasons. And, he's gotten a little warmer the last couple of weeks. Well, who hasn't? But, he's still in the 220s. And the point is he's still not Austin Riley, not the Austin Riley we had 4 or 5 years ago. But there's other guys that will go through these 3 for 50s, whatever. Drake Baldwin, for example, had just an awful month when he came back. He got off to that incredibly hot start. He got injured. He came back. I think he had like an 0 for, I don't want to exaggerate, but it was like an 0 for 27. It was something really bad. It was like a 3 for 50, something in there. Oof. And now Drake Baldwin is back up to 275 and he's hit 21 homers. It's not a thing wrong.
Yeah.
But he came back from that injury. He was super slow. So again, I know that sounds like just a bunch of chastising. How dare you guys overreact to a week of bad play? But again, it is the reality of the sport. And that's why a lot of the meaningful statistics are about averages and all these things. Again, you do total up homers and RBIs, but we're talking about earned run average, talking about batting average, on base percentage, slugging, blah, blah, blah. And then all the nice, beautiful analytics that they've cooked up in the last 20 years to grade out how this goes over a long period of time, which this season certainly is. But little concern about them. Also, though, that's in conjunction with Philadelphia coming on. The moral of the story is, yes, they were down around 35, 36 games to go, but it's still a long way to go. And also for the Braves, if you got a slump, let's slump now in the month of August and not the last week of September as you go into the postseason, if you can help it. I say that, and the team that hit the record-breaking homers and all that, they were not slumping at all at the end of the season. They went right in the playoffs and went straight out. So this sport, it's hard to make sense of it in small sample sizes. You have to look from big pictures, and yet we get the postseason, and you still got to have these itty-bitty baby samples. All right, that does it for us here in hour number 2 of the program. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we will get to the Ole Miss Rebels as we get to preseason SEC team number 3 as we look at each and every SEC team. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call live on Tiger 95.9.
Two hours of Sports Call are finished. Don't touch that radio dial. We've got one more hour to go.
Looking for great deals while supporting a great cause? Visit Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, conveniently located on East University behind Zaxby's. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 until 5 with a huge selection of furniture, clothing for the whole family, books, home decor, and so much more. Have items to donate? We'll gladly accept donations at the back of the store from 10 until 4. Shop, donate, and make a difference at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store, where every purchase helps change lives.
TK's convenience stores have a brand new look. That's right. Look for the red, white, and blue. It's Arco, American-owned top-tier gasoline, now at select TK's locations. Need great gas at a great price? TK's and Arco have you covered with the best price gas in town. American-made fuel for you and your family. So roll into your neighborhood TK's today, where TK's and Arco are as American as apple pie.
Some beers are made to blend in. Blue Moon Belgian White was brewed to stand out. Crafted with Valencia orange peel for a bright citrus taste and a smooth, refreshing finish, it's the perfect way to elevate any occasion. Served best with an orange garnish, every sip brings out its signature flavor. Whether you're unwinding after work or gathering with friends, reach for something a little brighter. Blue Moon Belgian White. Made brighter, please enjoy responsibly.
Let Honey Baked Ham be your hero for all of your family gatherings. Our Honey Baked Ham is the star, but don't forget the sides. From creamy casseroles to mouth-watering desserts, Honey Baked Ham Company has everything you need to complete your celebration. Indulge in Honey Baked Ham's delicious, perfectly baked sides and decadent desserts. Just the right touch for any feast. Make your next meal easy, delicious, and unforgettable with Honey Baked Ham. Pre-order all of your favorites today or visit us at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika. Honey Baked Ham, where every meal is a memory.
What up, Auburn? It's Malcolm.
What's up? I'm Allison Hagendorf.
It's the new era of Scratch and Sniff.
That's right.
We are stoked because we got the hottest remixes, we got mashups, we got new music. Look for Scratch and Sniff Fridays, 8 p.m. to midnight. We appreciate you, Auburn. It is 95.9 The Tiger. Always alternative. Always Scratch and Sniff.
Malcolm, you're a tiger, but I think I'm the fierce one.
Wow.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. we have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
This fall, tune into savings at Jimmy's Car Stereo. With crisp autumn air and cozy drives ahead, make your rides even better with our top-of-the-line car stereos and accessories. From boom and bass to crystal clear sound, Jimmy's has the perfect upgrade to make your vehicle the ultimate fall soundtrack. Plus, make sure your football tailgate playlist is the best sounding on the plains with a new system from Jimmy's. Visit Jimmy's Car Stereo today at 908 Opelika Road in Auburn or online at jimmyscarstereo.com. Jimmy's Car Stereo, serving the community for over 30 years.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. Make sure you listen to the Weekday Rush with James Chandler on Tiger 95.9 FM and the Tiger Communications app.
Good morning, my neighbors!
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Maxwell with Fairway Auto Brokers. Back to school deals are here and you deserve a new ride. With over 150 of the finest pre-owned vehicles in stock, we make car buying fun and easy for the whole family. As Lee County's #1 place to buy a pre-owned vehicle, come see why Fairway is the difference. Visit us at www.fab-auto.com or stop by today at 1777 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Alabama.
The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
When it comes to important money matters, you matter most. At Mid-South Bank, we're a place for you to put your loyalty and trust. That's why we offer products and services to make your banking chores easy and convenient for both your business and your personal needs. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Southern Union State Community College, success isn't a solo journey. It's powered by something bigger. A herd of faculty, mentors, industry partners, and a community committed to helping you move forward. Whether you're earning a degree that prepares you for immediate entry into the workforce, transferring to a university, or learning a new skill, Southern Union helps you find your strength and run with it. Herd powered, performance driven. Southern Union State Community College. Apply today at suscc.edu.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
This is the Tiger Communications Sports Report brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. I'm Connor Knight. Back in April, Tahad Pettiford, one of the most dynamic point guards in the country, announced his return to the Auburn men's basketball program for his junior campaign in 2026. Pettiford averaged 15.4 points and 3.8 assists per game as a sophomore, and in the process became the 41st player in program history to join the 1,000-point club. Pettiford returns to Auburn with 1,025 career points and 258 assists. Pettiford had 20 or more points in 13 games this past season and has gone over 20 points 26 times in his career. The Atlanta Falcons really should be projected in the bottom half of the league when it comes to how they stack up against the rest of the NFL for the next few seasons. ESPN did a power rankings of how teams project out over the next 3 seasons, and the Falcons find themselves ranked 27th in the NFL. The worldwide leader pointed out lacks in the roster, and especially at the quarterback position, that would be problematic for Atlanta over the next few years. The Falcons were the worst team in the NFC South, with Tampa Bay leading the way at 19, New Orleans close behind at 21, and Carolina at 23. And the Atlanta Falcons are bringing in some help for their depleted pass rush, signing veteran Zadarius Smith to a 1-year contract, the team announced Tuesday. Smith, a 33-year-old edge rusher who played last season with the Philadelphia Eagles, will make $6 million. Smith played under Falcons coach Kevin Stefanski while with the Cleveland Browns in 2023 and 2024. Smith had just 1.5 sacks in 5 games last season, but he has 70.5 career sacks in 3 seasons with double-digit sacks. The Falcons are currently preparing for their second preseason game game at the Indianapolis Colts on Saturday, and you can hear all the action on Tiger 95.9. I'm Connor Knight, and this has been your Tiger Communications Sports Report, brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union.
Auburn University Credit Union has partnered with Care Humane Society for the AUCU CARES debit card. It's free to you, and each time you swipe the card, AUCU makes a donation on your behalf. It's a win-win. For more information, visit myaucu.org. AUCU is federally insured by the NCUA and an equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Whether you're leaving work, cruising around town, or listening on demand, we've still got some fun left for you. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show has been on the air since 1995 and is ready for 60 more minutes of fun. Now, let's get this hour of Sports Call started.
Third and final hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you here today. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. On top of course, you can listen to us in the traditional ways at Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, the Tiger Communications app, or after the fact on the Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. I could really go for a ice cold vanilla Coke right now. That would make me feel better about life. As we grind through the Wednesday show here. We got 1 hour left, and we're going to use it predominantly on the Ole Miss Rebels. They picked third in the Southeastern Conference. Again, tomorrow will be Texas. Friday will be Georgia. Anything happened with Ole Miss at the end of last year that was interesting?
Seems like there was a coaching change. Maybe?
Yeah. Seems like that way.
I think
felt like they had a playoff run. That was pretty good.
They did that. Almost won a national title.
Yeah, pretty close.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
In this day of football.
In this economy.
Nearly won a natty in football.
13-2. Also, for those of you that have been watching college football for many decades, did you ever think I would be saying a college record that included 15 football games? I bet you didn't.
Yeah.
The 11-game regular seasons that used to be had with the potential to play a 12th in a bowl game. Yeah, so we are at all kinds of game numbers for those that make it the playoff runs. And Ole Miss was able to do that, again, without the SEC championship game. Played 3 playoff games. So, anywho, you could play the maximum of 17 is now because you can play the conference championship game
and have to
play all 4 rounds of the college football playoff. So, and we'll see if it ever happens because also the team that dominates, like in Indiana, usually gets the bye.
Right.
So you get 16 games rather than 17. Yeah. But, I mean, we're pretty much at the old NFL regular season schedule for those that make deep runs. It's only for like 6 teams, 4 to 8 teams. But, all right, so Ole Miss, their $1 million question is what's Pete Golding going to be as a head coach?
Yep.
It just is. Now, these situations are different. I want to be careful in their application because there are clear differences. One's a tragedy and one is more closer to a travesty. But I think of their situation as somewhere in the same area code as their friends in Starkville and how Mike Leach had come in there and done a really quality job. Maybe not new program highs because I feel more of those were with Dan Mullen, but had reestablished Mississippi State, after the brief Joe Moorhead experiment and said, hey, Mississippi State's going to be fine. Mike Leach, really good coach. And his tragic passing had them go to Zach Arnett, defensive guy, was unclear if he was ready to be a head coach, but they needed program stability badly. I mean, how could you not? You just lost your head coach.
Right.
Okay. Because he died. Like the worst thing that could happen. Unbelievably tragic and unexpected. So, of course, you try to keep somewhat continuity there. Well, it didn't go well, and they moved on from Zach Arnett really quickly. So then I think about Ole Miss, and I think about a coach that is bringing them to new highs, or at least establishing what they could be in the new age of college football. And then I think of a group of players that were disturbed and disappointed when their head coach walks out on them and leaves and goes to another school in their own conference, not even going to the NFL, going to the same conference. So Ole Miss looks at their staff and says, we can't go outside the staff right now. We need to go and get someone here. And it's Pete Golding, because Lane Kiffin wants to take his offensive guys with him. And so you go to Pete Golding, a defensive guy that you're not sure if will be the head coach or not. Now, again, a key difference here is that we did get to see him a little bit coach him. He was the head coach for that playoff run. But obviously the general sentiment is that you had cohesion still available because Charlie Weiss Jr. came back to coordinate the offense. You had all the players that have been coached all season long by Kiffin. But I do think of it as there's really just no way to tell where Pete Golding will fall on this scale. Everyone can, of course, have their own opinion, but there's a world Pete Golding is an excellent head coach, and he holds water great, and they're very competitive. There's a world where he's okay, and they have a good year this year and then kind of gently drop off a little bit. Or there's a world where he's bad, and they go like 6-6 or 7-5 this year. They go like 4-8 next year, and then they're done with him. And so it's a really hard thing to project multiple years. It's like you're inclined to take this 1 year at a time if you're Ole Miss. You feel set up roster-wise to have a good season this year. But even if you have a solid season, unless you go back to the playoff and win playoff games again, there's going to be this cloud that hangs over Ole Miss that everything that happened with Lane Kiffin has potentially forced you into a decision that you would not have otherwise made and could damage your long-term viability after thinking Lane Kiffin could be there long-term.
Yeah. A lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns as far as how that's going to go with that coaching staff. What we do know is the roster is there. They got hella good players on both sides of the ball. So the roster is there, but have the brains and the mastermind of all that gone? And is that going to be able to something that they can recover from? Because you got new offensive coordinator coming in, new defensive coordinator. Don't know. We know, like I said, we know they've got great players. The talent is there, or the brains to lead it there, and we really won't know that until we see it for sure. It looked fine in the playoffs with Pete Golding running it, but again, like you said, everything system was already there. The continuity was already there. I mean, you just had to don't drive the boat into
don't mess it up.
Yeah, don't drive the boat into a sandbar somewhere. Just keep the thing going straight, and you're good. And he was able to do that, and that's fine. But now that it's his program, it's been his off season. It's his system. It's a new. I don't know about new offensive system, but obviously new mastermind and brains with the offense. Don't know. And their schedule is going to be tougher this year. That's the other thing. Looking through last year, they played regular season just 3 ranked teams. Now they went 2-1 against those ranked teams, but just 3 ranked teams in the regular season. So I don't know, but they get a tougher. They have some of the tougher teams this year with Texas and Georgia on the schedule and some road games that could be tricky. So I think Ole Miss is that one team out of the entire conference that they could be just as good as they were last year. Like you said, they could plummet. You just don't know.
The single widest range of outcomes, I think, in the conference. And look, we've talked about teams that we feel could have a floor of 4 wins at a ceiling of 8 or 9, and like that's a 5-game ceiling. And obviously the difference in a 4-8 and 9-3 team was wide. But Ole Miss is going to have something like a team that would barely make a bowl game like a 6-6 team to something that was in the playoffs. And heck, I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. I don't know exactly where I land yet, but like you would even start to question like any chance of 5-7 even. So like you have a wild discrepancy on what a 6-6 team would be versus the team they were last year, which was one of the best teams in the country. So there's so much even in the short term. Again, that's why I don't even feel like asking you the question, what do you think of Pete Golding long term? Because it's no different information than asking you what a new coach would be. I mean, just because he coached some playoff games, I don't think that gave us any realistic clue.
Right.
And also it's such a unique circumstance because how many first year head coaches have a roster this good? How many are still set up to succeed? Because, I mean, there could have been a world where Chambliss and all these guys go to LSU. I know a few did. I know some of them, like TJ Daugherty, like some of their defensive guys, did, but not everybody. A lot of their offense stayed or did not go to LSU at least. So it's interesting. We'll go through that roster in just a minute. Let's get to a phone call though on the Sports Call phone line 334-887-3401 locally or toll free 1-888-9 Tiger 9. Next up today,
Anthony from Auburn.
Anthony joins us. Anthony, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, and you guys?
Doing all right.
Awesome.
Well, I see with the Southern Conference in Alabama and Tennessee have made an announcement that they're going to go color home jerseys for both teams next 2 years. They did this probably about 56 years ago or whatnot, and they're going to bring it back again. You think this is just to help promote the 9-game conference slate, or is something else?
I don't think it's to promote anything as far as that goes. I think it's just something they wanted to do and bring back a color versus color. I think I don't think it's to promote anything. I think it's just literally just something the two teams decided they wanted to do. Southern Cal and UCLA started doing that again a few years ago. They were going color versus color. And yeah. Like I said, I don't think there's any inside things to it. I think it's just something kind of neat and interesting that the two teams agreed they wanted to do.
Well, it definitely brings more excitement to the game or whatnot, because you rarely see that. And like you said, I've seen USC and UCLA a few years ago do that or whatnot. But now, why not just go ahead and do this for the Iron Bowl as well? Crimson and blue, or either Auburn wear the orange jerseys or whatnot, and Alabama got the crimson jerseys on, and go ahead and make some special footballs. When Auburn got the ball, they can have an orange and blue football, and Alabama can have a crimson and white football. I mean, and then you can be selling footballs or either give them out to fans or whatnot, just for everybody to have fun.
Well, the crazy thing is, though, I mean, if you actually look at the footballs, their team footballs are like the ones Auburn's going to be using are orange and blue. They have the AU logo on them, so they are Auburn footballs. And when Bama has the ball, they are Bama footballs with crimson and the A logo. So that's kind of already a thing. They have it. It's not just a singular standard unmarked football. I mean, they have their team logoed footballs that they use. So yeah, that's already a thing. I don't know that I'd want to see an Iron Bowl with color versus color, though. I kind of like I like seeing Auburn in the Stormtrooper whites, and I like seeing Bama come in here with their white jerseys, but who knows? You never know.
But since we're on uniforms and stuff, any chance Auburn wearing a blue helmet?
I'd never say never, but it just seems like that Auburn has, been, one of those teams that wants to stick to the tradition, and they've never had a color helmet. It's always been a white helmet. I know Bama at one time wore a white helmet, and I think they may do that again this year. But Auburn's traditional helmet has been white, and unless they decide to do something off the wall with Nike, I think you're just going to see it as what it is, just that traditional look.
Well, you got 12 games, so I mean, there's room to maybe have a couple games where you might have an orange helmet one game and a blue helmet one game, and then you got 10 other games to wear your white helmet.
Yeah. Well, they've been switching. Yeah. They've been switching the face masks up. They've started doing that a few years ago. So they'll have an orange mask, a white mask, and the blue mask. So they've been changing it up a little bit here and kind of breaking from the norm. But that'd be a stretch to see Auburn start doing something like Oregon, where they wear a different color combination every single game.
No, you don't got to do it every single game, but a couple games a year wouldn't hurt. And then Dye, he had him in an orange face mask when he come in. in the early years, and they went on the blue or whatnot. But it would be nice. It would bring some excitement to maybe see an all blue uniform. Uniform, blue pants, blue jerseys, and an orange helmet, or you can stay with the white helmet for that.
Yeah,
but change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I see both sides of it. I mean, there's some people that love all the different uniform combinations, but me personally, I'm kind of a purist when it comes to uniforms. I like the ones that have the traditional look. I'm not a fan of those that constantly switching out and you can't ever tell what they're going to look like from week to week. You see that Auburn uniform. You see that Auburn uniform, and you know that's Auburn. There's no question that is Auburn, and I like that.
Well, if you see Auburn orange uniform, it won't be no question about it. I mean,
you turn the TV on and you see Auburn running around in an orange jersey, you're not going to have a clue who you're looking at until you look at the score ticker at the bottom and that's Auburn.
I mean, come on now. Auburn's colors are orange and blue and white, so why not? I mean, they've worn orange jerseys in the 70s a time or two.
Yeah, they
so
did.
Why not come on?
Last time they did it was the Georgia game in 1980.
Okay, all right, 1980 last time they did it, or whatnot, but it might be time to do that. I mean, the baseball teams and softball teams and the basketball teams, they wear orange and whatnot, so why not? It's not going to hurt anything.
No, I mean, shoot, why not? Go put a purple jersey on. Let's get some purple and some hot pink going.
We're not talking about purple. Like I said, Auburn colors are white, orange, and blue.
I'm just joking. I
know you're joking.
It's an Oregon thing. Their colors are green and yellow, but they have hot pink and black and all sorts of crazy colors.
But we're not talking about doing anything like that. I'm just talking about having an orange jersey maybe a couple times a season.
Yeah, I think the fans would like it. Georgia has a very traditional look to them, but they've been wearing black jerseys. They've started doing their blackout stuff and wearing a black jersey, and so hey, maybe changing it every now and then. I don't think it'd be a bad thing.
Like I said, you got 12 games, so 2 games is not going to kill anything, is it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt anything.
No, it'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, how's practice going? I mean, are we getting closer and closer? Any reports?
Everything sounds positive. Auburn did get an injury news today that Jacaleb Falk's going to be out for the most likely the year with a collarbone injury. But everything else sounds good. They sound like they're doing what they need to do and being ready for the opener here in a couple weeks.
And they didn't come out of the junction, right?
Yeah, they're out of the hotels now. They're all in class and doing the normal thing. Ohio State's also out of their hotel and back to doing normal things.
Anybody said anything about building a complex somewhere, maybe outside of town, especially for something like that?
No, they just spent gobs of millions on that big football complex over there. They're not going to build a football dorm somewhere out away where they can go and hide away. If they need to, they'll just go and put them in a hotel room for a little bit and get them away. But I mean, that's what they do on the weekends. They send them to either Montgomery or Columbus and stay in a hotel.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do. But we'll see how all this works out. Everybody's excited. I mean, about 2 weeks away now from kickoff, right?
Yeah, we will. Well, we won't know everything about the teams, but we'll at least get a glimpse of what is potentially in store. So you'll see some teams that look good and some teams that look bad. You'll see some teams that look bad that end up being good, and some teams that look good that end up being bad. So just never know.
How much of this new offense? Players, how many players he gonna have that are actually South Florida players that are gonna be on this Auburn opening day lineup?
Well, I mean, your quarterback and your center are gonna definitely be. You're gonna probably have 4 or 5 wide receivers that are South Florida guys, or not 5. What, 4?
They're going to start their quarterback. They're going to start 2 offensive linemen, Cole Best, Cole Skinner, center and right guard. They're going to start at least 2 USF receivers, maybe a third. So they're going to have either 5 or 6 starters from USF.
And the running back going to be Jeremiah Cobb?
That's correct.
Jeremiah Cobb, and then you got a Baylor transfer, and then Omar Mabson from Auburn High School, who should have been a senior at Auburn High last year and got playing time here at Auburn. So you'll have the 3 running backs. It'll be Cobb, Mabson, and
Bryson Washington.
Bryson Washington, Baylor transfer.
Now, for the defensive side, what we got?
So, yeah, they're going to have Xavier Atkins and Elijah Melendez at linebacker. Atkins is their first team All-SEC guy. He was the transfer from LSU last year that broke onto the scene. Defensive line-wise, they've got Jared Smith. He came out of Thompson a couple years ago, hoping he takes a big step forward in a sophomore season. They got Deshaun Womack from Ole Miss, who was on their defensive line last season. Couple defensive linemen that were on the team last year in the middle, like Malik Autry and Dallas Walker. And then they've also got defensive backfield Champ Anthony. That was preseason third team All-SEC. We talked to him down at SEC Media Days.
Rayshon Pleasant,
who was their kick returner last year, also going to play DB, and Eric Winters at safety, that sort of thing.
Sylvester Smith, that's a headhunter guy that you'll be hearing about. So yeah, they got some dudes, and they got their kicker back. The kicker's back healthy after all the gastrointestinal stuff. He's back kicking 60-yard field goals. So you'll end up with one of the best kickers in the country.
That's good, because I was cheering for him. Let me ask you now, who's going to be the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, so Joel Gordon, who was at South Florida with Golish last year, will be calling plays.
He'll be calling the plays. So he's going to be the mastermind behind the whole offensive thing, right?
Yes, he will. No, your turn, my turn coordinating like Hugh Freeze was doing the last couple of years. And then, of course, DJ Durkin returns to coordinate the defense.
Well, everything sounds good. We'll see if it rolls. We'll watch from week to week and see what happens. It could be one of them kind of seasons. Somebody mentioned the other day that this could be a season like 2013. Might mess around and get and make it to the championship game. I mean, it's a possibility. I wouldn't laugh at all. Think about it now. When Malzahn came in that year, they had won 3 games the previous year, right?
I understand, but we also understand that's like a once in a generation type of season. If they grew on trees, I would be planting those trees. But we would take a modest start to the Alex Golesh era.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, just having that little special time at the hotel, being away from everybody else. A lot of people are not doing that. So, 2 or 3 other schools are doing that, right?
Yeah, we knew Ohio State did it. I don't know who else did it, but yeah.
But that's about it. Well, we'll see. Time will tell. Well, guys, I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Anthony. That is
all right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
That is Anthony from Auburn joining us on the Sports Call phone line. Let's take our first time out here of the 5 o'clock hour. Again, we appreciate that phone call. You're listening to the Wednesday edition of Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Do you want to join our conversation? Tweet us your thoughts on Twitter at SportsCallAU.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
High temperatures today will once again be in the mid-90s with heat index values in the mid-100s, around 105, 106, maybe 107. Yesterday, we saw some around 110. We will see mostly sunny skies and a only small chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, about a 10% chance with lows into the low 70s. Tomorrow, similar dynamic with the temperatures for those who do not see rain, but we'll see a bit more scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, about a 1 in 3 probability of any one spot getting wet. Lows again into the low 70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Are you looking to buy or sell land in the Southeast? Southeastern Land Group is here for you. With over 20 years of experience, we specialize in farms, ranches, timberland, hunting properties, and recreational land. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time buyer, our expert team offers personalized service every step of the way. From listing to closing, we make the process simple and smooth. Ready to make your move? Visit selandgroup.com and find your perfect piece of land today. Southeastern Land Group, your trusted partner in land sales.
This is the Auburn Minute presented by Honeybaked Ham and Tiger Communications. An explosive playmaker is continuing to make his mark in the Auburn backfield. Senior running back Jeremiah Cobb emerged as a cornerstone of the Tigers' offense, delivering a standout 2025 season as the team's leading rusher. The Montgomery native topped the squad with nearly 1,000 rushing yards, posting 5 100-yard games and earning third-team All-SEC honors. Known for his home run speed and decisive vision, Cobb delivered dynamic performances throughout the year, highlighted by a career-high 153-yard rushing outing against Arkansas. With dual threat versatility as both a runner and receiver out of the backfield, Cobb remains one of the SEC's premier playmakers. Auburn fans can look forward to more big plays from number 23 this upcoming season. If you didn't know it, you do now. This has been the Auburn Minute.
Let Honey Baked Ham be your hero for all of your family gatherings. Our Honey Baked Ham is the star, but don't forget the sides. From creamy casseroles to mouth-watering desserts, Honey Baked Ham Company has everything you need to complete your celebration. Indulge in Honey Baked Ham's delicious, perfectly baked sides and decadent desserts. Just the right touch for any feast. Make your next meal easy, delicious, and unforgettable with Honey Baked Ham. Pre-order all of your favorites today or visit us at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika. Honey Baked Ham, where every meal is a memory.
If you live and breathe Auburn sports and want breaking news first, there's only one place you need to be. Auburn Undercover. For 18 years, they've delivered complete coverage of Auburn athletics with recruiting news, expert analysis, and insider information, now locally owned and operated. Auburn Undercover is more committed than ever. Join today for just $1. Visit auburnundercover.com and become a member today. Auburn Undercover, now local, all in, all the time.
Now back to the multi-time Abby Award-winning Sports Call.
Welcome back. This is the Wednesday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy with you here today. All right, we return to our preview of Ole Miss. We were talking Pete Golding in the first segment. Then we had our phone call with Anthony from Auburn. If you missed anything live or want to hear something again, go back and check it out on the Sports Call podcast presented by Coca-Cola. But with Ole Miss in 2026, briefly, let's look at the roster again. The obvious here, Trinidad Chambliss returns. Kejuan Lacey returns. That's a heck of a quarterback running back duo. I also think they have pieces to build their defense with. Now, 2 years ago is when their defense was nasty. They had like 14 points a game. They had studs up front. It was one of the best defensive lines in the country. We didn't think Ole Miss could get to that point under Lane Kiffin. Pete Golding did help them get to that point. Last year, they returned to normalcy. They were fine defensively. They were not outstanding. They were not bad. A couple of guys keep an eye on again in that defense. Cam Franklin and especially my favorite, Suntarian Perkins, who is a really quality defensive end. So
William Eccles.
They've got pieces. But again, what will the whole unit gel like? What will the mentality of the team be like? It felt like there was some screw you lane in the playoffs last year. I don't know if you can build a whole team out of that this season. So I think it comes back to what is Pete Golding becoming, the decisions he makes, the game planning, how they navigate this 12-game schedule.
Yeah. The other thing that because of what we're dealing with, we went through a whole thing about these lawsuits, and some players got an injunction, not an injunction, but a Louisiana judge basically sided with him. This is about an hour ago, and two of them are former Ole Miss defensive players who now are cleared to go back to Ole Miss until something happens. So if this doesn't happen, Ole Miss could be getting some roster spot guys back that were starters last year that have been in an NFL camp. So
I hope people are watching me on the stream and my enjoyment level of what's being said right now.
But unfortunately, that's the case. There might be some NFL camp guys that were on that defense last year coming back. So, they've got players.
I'm really excited for Ole Miss to play the Miami Dolphins this year.
Yeah.
I wonder who wins.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they've got players in place and maybe some coming back. Oddly enough, but like I said, I was saying, in that first half of us talking about Ole Miss, the players are there, the roster is there, and the players are there, and just kind of the core of what the potential of them to do is there. Have the brains gone away? The brains being Lane Kiffin. He was the captain of that. He was the captain of that ship. He was the brains behind everything that went on with that offense, and the defense, did what it did, but the offense was just incredible. Can you bounce back from that? The players are there, but can you actually match the wits that Lane Kiffin had? And that's what I don't know. The team itself, if Lane Kiffin had stayed at Ole Miss with this roster, they would maybe be my number 2 in the SEC. But without him, I don't know. I have a feeling they drop a few games.
Yeah, it's gonna. If I don't, yeah, we'll get to the prediction here in just a second. They again, I've already said it, but they have such a wide chasm between what could happen, and some of these ceilings and floors are a little bit more or less. Some of them are disingenuous. Like, okay, we took it literally, and so could lose this game and could lose that game, and realistically, it's not likely. But I think with whatever our ceiling and floors are for Ole Miss, I think they're way more viable, even if it's a super low floor,
right?
Because of the unknown of Pete Golding. And again, their long-term conversation will be fascinating too, because how with Alabama, part of it is some of the confusion or frustration or tepidness to DeBoer is that, will you really ever have a roster as talented as what you stepped into when Saban retired? Like having half of Nick Saban's team plus some parts of your own, like, will you really ever have a complete unit better than that? That's some of their frustration, right?
Yeah.
So if you're Pete Golding and Ole Miss, will you really ever have as much right now on any of these future teams? So if you can't have a 9 or 10 win season with this, what does that mean for you long term? Because again, it's the relationship between fit and talent. But I also don't see why Pete Golding would not want these players. I don't see why. Whatever offensive system you want to run, you don't want Trinidad Chambliss and Kejuan Lacey a part of it. And surely he's not going to be shifting things so much with those guys. Again, they have a couple wide receiver transfers that'll be good for them.
Well, Deuce Alexander's a good guy. He's back for them. I mean, Deuce Alexander's a heck of a player.
Sure. And so, I mean, they should be good. Again, I mean, Deuce was their number 3 receiver last year, but yeah, I mean, still nearly 700-yard guy. That's the beauty of them playing 4 or 5 guys so much.
Yeah.
Jonte Cook, who's been around the block a few times, but he's transferring in, and bringing Caleb Bowden. Another name you might have forgot about they brought in, Horatio Fields.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of factor he is. I kind of thought there was a world he would have been useful to Auburn more, but had the injury, had the overall, here's he for his offense for you. But again, I think there's enough. But now let's look at the schedule.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Being breezy. Ole Miss starts with Louisville. That game is on Sunday
in Nashville.
At the same time as the Notre Dame game, because we had all day, and we said, we got 2 games today, and they should kick off at the same time or around the same time. So I will see them both on the multi-TV setup, and I will feel sorry for those that don't, because I don't know why that did not separate those. September the 12th, they host Charlotte.
Then
Week 3, they play somebody.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd say Magnolia Bowl, big deal. How about incredibly important, huge? I would rather beat them than maybe Mississippi State? ? I'd love to ask. You know what? And I bet you the answer is yes. I want to ask Ole Miss people, would you rather beat LSU than Mississippi State this year? Because I bet you the answer is yes. I'd be willing. Every other year would be no. Oh no, got to win the Egg Bowl. Got to win the Egg Bowl. Biggest rival. Can't live and breathe in this state. I get it. But I bet you this year they want Lane Kiffin's blood at all costs. All right, week 4 at Florida. That's still a pretty good one. John Summerall was sniffing around the Ole Miss job. He was like, "Are you sure you want to hire Pete Golding?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're fine." Week 5 is a bye. Week 6 at Vanderbilt. Then host Missouri. At Texas. Then the host Auburn game on Halloween. November the 7th, host Georgia. November the 14th at Oklahoma. Then Wofford. Then the Egg Bowl. This is what I was talking about yesterday, Tom. You have Auburn sandwiched in between Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Which one of those would you like to try to take a nap on? That's a brutal stretch. I could even throw in Missouri on the front of that too, because Missouri could be ranked when they play. We'll see. Start with the floor, as we usually do. What is it?
Yeah. Well, and what I was first going to say is this schedule, it's a little more difficult than last year. Georgia, Oklahoma, LSU were their ranked teams that they played last year. So a little bit different now when you have to bring Texas into the mix. But and also that first game against Louisville could be interesting. Louisville's a team that ranked down at the bottom of the top 25, but it's a team that people are kind of keeping an eye on. So floor, if things just go off the rails, 7-5. Looking at the schedule, I don't know that I would see them at 6. 6-6 seems a little too far fetched. But I think 7-5 is a floor that I would put them at. You going lower?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. You think it could get really bad if it
5-7?
Oh wow,
is
okay.
the floor 5-7. Look at this realistically with me. Okay, I know Trinidad James was awesome.
Sure.
This is not my prediction.
Right.
I did not pick Ole Miss like 12th in the SEC this year.
Right.
But okay, let's even leave Louisville out of this right now. Okay?
Sure.
Of course they could lose to LSU. If they lose to LSU, emotionally could be shot.
Right.
Absolutely could lose at Florida. Tough place to play. You're not even focused. You're already ready for the bye week. We just lost our mini Super Bowl 2-2. Okay, I'll give them Vandy 3 wins. That's fine. Missouri's a losable game. I think Missouri's losable. I've said, look, Missouri's going to have Ahmad Hardy at running back. Hopefully by then, again, he might start the year. I don't know, but Ahmad Hardy, Austin Simmons is their quarterback. He played at Ole Miss last year. He's upset Trinidad Chambliss took his job.
Yeah.
This is college. That screams 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. So that could be a loss. At Texas, I don't have to convince you. 3-4. Auburn? Maybe. Probably not.
I would feel better if it was here.
Right,
I would feel better.
maybe.
At Ole Miss, hosting Auburn.
Right. So that's 4. They lose to Georgia. That's 4-5. They lose to Oklahoma 4-6. Beat Wofford. That's 5. So that would imply they lose the Egg Bowl. But remember, I said they assume the Louisville win.
Right.
So really, I'd rather say, okay, here's 4, and they will split the Louisville and Mississippi State games. Because again, this is year 3 Mississippi State, and let's not act like the Egg Bowl is not usually competitive. Last year got away from them a little bit, but there's some really good Ole Miss teams doing some really little things against Mississippi State. It's a big rivalry. So before you say you're kidding, they would not lose to Mississippi State. Probably not. But if they've already got 5 or 6 losses coming into it,
17-7 in 23.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, not likely, but you want to really slap it on Ole Miss and have Trinidad Chambliss all kind, because play devil's advocate. What if Trinidad Chambliss is getting new coaching and it's the wrong fit for him and it completely messes with what he's doing? I don't think these things. I don't believe these things. I'm just giving you the worst case scenario. I think the worst case scenario is really bad. All right, best case.
Yeah, does he look like Trinidad Chambliss that went to Tarleton State and not Trinidad Chambliss Ole Miss?
Yeah, or Ferris State.
Was it Ferris State?
Ferris State.
Ferris State. I thought it was Tarleton. Ferris
State. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even smaller.
Yeah. There's a reason he went to Ferris State.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Best case
scenario, 11-1. They're not going to get through this. There's no way they get through that schedule undefeated. But best case scenario, they only lose to Texas or they only lose to Georgia.
Yep. I agree. 11-1.
Yeah.
11-1 best case, because even though I just gave you a doom and gloom outcome, I also said in the first segment of this hour, I think Ole Miss has the widest grouping of opportunities in the entire league. And I mean that wholeheartedly. This could be a hell of a team. This could be it's fine. Not enough defense. Or it'd be like, oh my God, Lane Kiffin left there. They'll never be the same.
Right.
Like it really could be any of the three. I'm excited to watch them this year. I think we should do this one day. We should do like a list of most watchable SEC teams.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss, to me, outside of the obvious of Auburn, Ole Miss, I think, is going to be them and Texas are neck and neck and hell, LSU too. But like most watchable, like Trinidad should be great. But man, what is Golden going to do? And every game could be dramatic. Will they know how to win with a new head coach? Like it's just going to be crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So we both on the 11-1
as
the ceiling. I agree with you. It'd be something like at Texas or host Georgia, maybe an at Oklahoma, probably Texas or Georgia. But yeah, 11-1 with that schedule would be a hell of a run. They should be top 4 or 5. They should be in the SEC championship game, which continues to elude them. But that's their best case.
Yeah.
All right. So what is actually going to happen with the Rebs though this year?
I'm predicting 9-3.
Okay.
I just think that the roster is too good that even a bad coach can't screw that up. Now what happens on down the road with Pete Golding and that team, don't know. But for this year, I mean, the guy has been given keys to a well-oiled Cadillac, and can you just not run it into a wall? That's really all don't drive into a wall. Just, do okay with it. And yeah, I think Trinidad Chambliss is just insane. Q1 Lacey is good. They've got pieces on defense. They may be getting guys back on defense if the courts allow it. I think they're too good of a roster to lose too many games, but I think that the schedule itself being a little more difficult than last year is going to sneak up and bite them in a few games. So yeah, I'm going 9-3.
I go back and forth all the time on 9-3 and 8-4. I do not think this team's a playoff team.
Right.
And I on some level, it's complex because I think Lane Kiffin as a coach is really cool. I think as a dude, he's very shady. I respect the heck out of the schematics and the mind that he is, but he likes to play the game. It's not he has characteristics of that are very rare for a head coach. Like when I think of leadership, I would never think of Lane Kiffin. I would never a mature leader of men. I would have so many people that are not employed over Lane Kiffin. It's not funny.
Right.
Like I would be interested in Brian Kelly just as much as Lane Kiffin. If I'm talking this leader of men, even though Brian Kelly is a terrible leader of men also. So I think low of him in that regard, but I think so high of him schematically and football brain wise. And when I think of him leaving Ole Miss and the way that he did, like I really kind of hope Ole Miss beats them 56-3. Like they won't, obviously. They're not going to crush them. But I really wish they would. To send a message to him that, you did need us as much or more than we needed you. I don't know. I can't. That game to me is impossible to predict. I can't. It's so much emotionally based. I have no idea if Ole Miss will go run through helmets and just destroy, parts of LSU. I don't know if it'll cause them to do the dumbest things on a football field you've ever seen.
Right.
Commit stupid penalties, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the opposing coach, 15-yard penalty. I don't know what all they'll be capable of. So that game to me makes me go back and forth on 9-3, 8-4, because I think that they're probably losing all their big games, at least to Texas and Georgia. I think the at Florida game is such a tricky game. Like I could even see them going 8-4 with the win over LSU, because they then turn around and for the same reason I said they're super sad against Florida, maybe they're like super, oh yeah, we did it, guys.
Right.
And then John Summerall's like, I need another win, because I don't know what's happened in the Florida Auburn game the week before.
Sure.
Win or lose, but it's back in the swamp. Florida, even if they lose to Auburn, they're not going to be sad and down in the dumps. Too early for that in the John Summerall tenure. So that to me is like the biggest trap ever. And then you got the bye week. Oh, we're about to put the rest up here. That's the biggest. That might be the biggest trap game on the entire schedule for anybody this year. So I could see it being like they beat LSU, but they lose to Florida, lose to Texas, lose to Georgia, lose to Oklahoma, go 8-4 that way. Again, no idea how to I don't know. I would never bet U.S. currency on Ole Miss this year.
Oh, no,
would never do it.
not at
Won't
all.
touch it.
Nope.
Couldn't touch it. Can't make me. Won't do it. Don't advise anyone that does that to do it. Don't touch them. I'm telling you, they're gonna be weird. It'll be super weird. I think they'll score a lot of points. I think they'll be fun. Like I said, it'll be incredibly watchable. But who knows what the rest?
Maybe, but again, Lane Kiffin being that crazy offensive guy, it's like, are they going to be that fun to watch?
Yeah.
Is it going to be that electrifying of an offense? Again, you could have the greatest players, but if you can't dial up the cool stuff, then it may be not fun to watch.
Let me also play this side of it though. Lane did some stupid things offensively.
He did.
He went for it on fourth down.
Him and his analytics
sometimes,
folder.
and look, I loved it because look, I don't have a dog in that fight. If you want to go for it on your own 30, I don't care.
Right.
I think it's entertaining. Who needs a punter? But at the same time, that'd be very destructive if you go for it on your own 30-yard line and don't get it. So, because then also, let me say it, and this is probably deep diving too much, but if you are so much thinking 4th and 1 or 2, we're going for it, period, you call third down differently, don't you? Like if it's 3rd and 6, I think running is fine on 3rd and 6 if I'm going for it on 4th down. But then if I'm not going for it, let Trinidad cook more, and not worry about the short. So I don't know. Again, I think more probably than not, yes, the offense takes some sort of step back, but I don't think that it's a large one if it happens. I think they've got too much talent to do that, and they might ultimately benefit from more sound decision making. Although, who knows? Pete Golding, we don't know. He's a defensive guy, and I'm inclined to think defensive guys like to rock with their defense a little bit more and punt it a little bit more on the average. But Pete's like I've been here, and I trust the kid. I trust the offense. I would, wouldn't you? I mean, if I have 4th and 2 at midfield, I'm more inclined to go for it if Trinidad Chambliss is my quarterback, as opposed to whoever the Kentucky quarterback is.
Sure.
Fair?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If Jackson Arnold has 4th and 2, I'm probably going to just punt and hope it's inside the 10 and we get a 3 and out and get that ball back around midfield. So anyway, we'll see. Ole Miss can be interesting. I think they'll be really interesting this year. Again, reminder, tomorrow will be Texas. Friday will be Georgia, and we'll be done with the SEC team previews. Next week, we'll do group of 6 on Monday, and we will do, in some order, the Power 4 conferences Tuesday through Friday. And then week 0 will be upon us. That'll be that Saturday. And then the following Saturdays when Auburn and Baylor kick off. So it should be a lot of fun. But that's going to go ahead and do it for us here on this Wednesday edition of the program. Again, a reminder, in about 10 minutes from now, while we're going ahead and getting out of here, it's the High School Coaches Show at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. So make sure you tune into that with Brooks Childress and Walter Northcutt. Tom Peavy, thank you for being here today, sir. We'll see you again next week.
Absolutely enjoyed it.
That does it for us here in studio today. As always, we appreciate all those that tuned in and called in. For Connor Knight, run the board and taking phone calls, and for Tom Peavy, my name is Ryan Lavoie. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Every day we power homes and businesses in our communities, but we also power